Oh, we're on air. There we go. So for everybody who was listening really close, they just got a loud pop in their ears. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Not you, them.
Oh, I
Dang it, Joey.
waved. My camera's not even on. I waved.
It's all good, Joey. What's going on, guys? We're just doing kind of a random live stream nerdcasty thingy. Whatever. It don't matter. It's been a very long week for me here in good old wet Texas.
Oh God, I've heard.
Dude, it has been horrendous. Like, we've been lucky that we're just far enough north of Houston that we've caught some nastiness, but it hasn't been terrible. Whereas there's parts nearby that on Thursday alone got almost 14 inches of rain.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So, and I was near my parents' house. But guys, hi. Happy Saturday night. We got Mr. Joe Guns over here, who's got his camera turned off for the time being because he's really indecent at the moment. So eventually he's going to put on a shirt. And then we got Ernest P over here, who's coming in live from his job because unfortunately he had to go to work tonight. But I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Actually, you haven't been on an official Shoky video, I don't believe. I think it's always been Plastic Cannibal videos.
I think so. I think you're right. Maybe once. I don't
remember. Maybe once. Either way, it's awesome. All right, so I'm trying to pull up the chat so I can see if anybody's bothering to look at us. It says 2 people are watching. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and mute this because that's always smart.
Yeah, I'm one of the people watching, so I don't know.
Oh, so you and I are both watching. I got a Son Goku, whoever that is. Hello. Hello, Son Goku. But guys, we're just going to hang out, do whatever. Right now I'm focused entirely on Ernest. Ernest is actually a very, very cool nerd. He's a collector of mini toys and other things like that. And hopefully another time I'll have him on for a real Nerdcast one-on-one someday just to show off his stuff. Because he does have an incredible nerd basement.
Oh,
and you guys know Joe Guns. He's been around. He had to entertain the last time we did one of these live streams, and I had to dismiss myself. That was pretty good, though.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go get myself decent real quick.
Okay,
grab some drink, and then I'll be back.
Okay, so that's what happens when you roll a little bit early. Or late, whatever, it doesn't matter. Do what you gotta do, Joey. But either way, guys, whoever's gonna come and hang out, I put out some more feelers to see if anybody wants to jump in. It's a little bit late on a Saturday, but you know, it is what it is. But quick business, get out of the way. The Balls for Balls contest. Once again, a reminder, if you have not already. Well, was that Joey? Is he sneezing? He forgot to mute his camera before he got up. Anyways, Balls for Balls contest. If you guys are going to enter and you haven't yet, just reminder to go ahead and do that. I put up a video the other day. Not a lot of people seem to watch it. So go do Joey. I'm gonna kill a boy. Okay, I'm gonna mute Joey for now. There we go. Joey's muted. But anyway, I did get an update from Antonio Freitas. He did some cool upgrades to his build, and it's awesome. So we have to go through and knock out some more judging. In fact, I believe Joey was going to start doing that tonight when I interrupted him and say, hey, come hang out. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on around here. We got a whole lot of rain. And that's about it. I've been trying to go on vacation this week along with the wifey, and we canceled our plans because of what was supposed to be torrential downpours for 3 days, and it turned into torrential downpours off and on for 3 days. Unfortunately, the storm seemed to roll in mostly at night, so we could have had all day to kind of do what we wanted. But better safe than sorry, realistically, because it was really bad, and we could have been caught in it in traffic or where we were wanting to go. So hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to make up for that and go out to NASA for someplace we have not been in forever. Hey, there's Tony. I just now looked at the chat. What's going on, Eric? I see you there. I saw Eric earlier. Oh, sad news, guys. Today was the last official Gundam Club meet at Hobbytown Houston because, of course, it's closing, if you saw my video about that. So it was a sad day, but went out there and hung out with friends and built a little bit and stuff like that. So it is what it is. So I got to see Dion, Eric, and all those guys like that. Yeah. So we need to get you into building some Gundams, Ernest.
I have, let me think. I have the perfect grade Banshee Unicorn in a box.
Yeah.
I have the real grade Saizabi. I have the real grade Unicorn. They're all in boxes. We're getting ready, like, just been sitting waiting for me to find time to put them together. I have. I just got into what was that line? That the Dragon Ball line that I built the Naruto.
The Figure Eye Standard line.
Figure Eye Standard. Those were pretty slick.
Yeah, I remember.
for
I remember
the
you
cost.
you knocking out that Naruto shortly after I did. That's actually a really good kit.
Yeah.
I have the Kamen Riders sitting right over here, the newer ones.
Ooh.
So I've got Gio and Kabuto, and I'm going to order Fies and Gates pretty soon because they're so damn awesome. They're massively detailed. It's kind of ridiculous, and they've got X8 up for pre-order as well. So I was like, damn it. They need to get through all the Heisei riders because I need a Ghost and a couple of the other ones. If they can do a 4s, that would be great. And some of my people are like, what the hell is Kamen Rider? Either way, welcome back, Joey.
Well, there's also what is it? All the new Zoid kits that are be coming out pretty soon. Those look pretty slick.
Yeah, the Zoid's Wild kits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not too big on that line as it is. Zoids are cool, but I'm not really I'm not keen on the wild designs. The classic ones are more myself. I would love to pick up a either a Blade Liger or a Liger Jaeger at some point because those look absolutely amazing. But we'll see. I've got to get back into good Kotobukiya stuff because some of the frame arms I've messed with recently, like the ones back here that are completely falling apart, has kind of turned me off. But I've got the Anubis over here that's been staring me down for like a week or so. Yeah, fix your flag, Joey. That's important. Fix that flag. Sam is sad but happy today. Enjoyed the build time. Lost my happy place for RIP Hobby Town. Yes. Well, I'm glad that we could. I see you, Carl. I saw you in the comments, but I'm talking. I can only do so much. Joey, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the chat because it's probably a little bit easier for you.
Sure.
You're a good moderator. He's a good moderator, guys. But either way, basically, I've just, if you've seen my in the kitchen with Shokies and stuff lately, I've been getting in a bunch of stuff. In fact, yesterday before in a small break in the massive rains, I got a box full of paint for one of the projects I'm about to start working on. So that'll be fun because there's no way I could effectively paint right now.
Anubis build off.
Huh?
Sarli says there should be an Anubis build off.
I'm not doing an Anubis build off with you, Eric. That's not fair because you have an airbrush. if we're talking straight builds, maybe. But then again, I already told you what would happen if we tried to do this, Eric. You would get bored with it halfway through, get pissed off, set it down, start something else, and I'd be done weeks ahead of you. That wouldn't be very fair. Carl wants to know my thoughts on the HG Magan. How the hell do you actually say that? Maganak.
Maganak. I have thoughts.
The 40 set, or technically the 36 set. I believe it's an extravagance that only Joey will buy.
Already pre-ordered.
Jesus Christ. Please tell me you didn't pay what they were estimating.
What were they estimating?
468 yen.
Well,
468,000 yen. 46,800 yen. Jesus, I'll get it right eventually.
That wasn't the estimation. That was the official price.
That was the official price. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I ordered it with some other stuff. So what I'm paying is I would say number one, it's fair. I don't know shipping costs yet though. My dealer is waiting until everything comes in, and then we'll figure out shipping. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping, and I know it's not going to come this way, but I was kind of hoping that each kit would have its own individual box within the bigger box.
No, they'll be partitioned off by like runners.
Let's say you got to take a picture of all the runners. That's going to be insane.
No, you need to do a Giuseppe's Kitchen.
Yes.
You need, or whatever you called your show. You need to do that when it comes in, and basically do what you did with the Leos and like pull out all 36 and or 40 of them. Because is it confirmed that it comes with the 4 customs, or
no? The 4 customs are coming
separately,
but you buy. There's 2 sets for the 4 customs, but you can only build one of the 2 for each set. So you have to get 4 of them. Man. To build all of them.
Wait, so you got to buy 4 sets of 2 to build all the proper customs?
1.5. Yeah.
Oh, got you. I got you. Okay.
2 sets of each of the twin sets. So.
Oh, yeah. I got you. That's so dumb. That's that's way too much. Why not give us the full 40 set? Just to include the 4 customs with it.
I don't know.
For that much money, they could have and should have. I mean, it's. I guess they're doing what they did with the grazes. It's like, hey, here's another 2-pack of custom grazes, but you have enough parts to build other shit. Or we're gonna, at the very end, we're gonna go single packs again, instead of a double pack with the Ritters. Which, shout out to my Patreoners who got to see that video. And you guys all have to wait. Teasers.
So I bought 2 of each of the commander types, so I can build all 4. And then I bought, of course, the 36 set. And then just yesterday, I went to HobbyLink Japan, and I picked out a bunch of like custom like builders parts and things like that, so I can further customize that set of 36.
Okay.
And this is going to be like a year-long project for me.
Clearly, because I mean, unless you had like a small army building a few at a time, like you had 5 or 6 people, and you divvied them out.
No, they're all mine.
Well, I just mean to build. Like you can handle your customs that you want to do, but put out the ones that aren't going to get customized to somebody else.
Well, I was doing the math on how I want to do the customs, because with all the parts available in the set, you can build 64 different versions of the Maganok.
Jesus.
Which almost made me want to buy a second set so I could build everything. But
don't.
But that's not canon. There's only 40 units. So
it sounds like you're not worried about canon anyways if you're buying custom parts.
Well, so if you
no well-sos.
No, if you watch through the animation of Gundam Wing, they have like the animators I think just got creative with some of these things.
Yeah.
And there are units within animation that are not possible with the set, so I'm improvising.
Oh, cheater. You won't have time because you're going on another trip by the end of the month. Actually, it doesn't come out till what? September?
August?
Okay.
I think.
Yep. I see you in the chat, Steve. I see you there. And he says you need to review them individually if you get that, Joey. When you
probably might.
Here's another Maganok. You could have a 40-minute review doing 1 minute on each.
That's not a half bad idea.
Yes, it is. But show the articulation individually. Like here's this elbow moves on this one, then you show the wrist turns on this one.
How many do you think you'll get through before you start feeling burnt out on building the same kit?
Well, I built 12 Leos pretty quickly and moved right on to the Space Leos. I got 12 of those too. I don't know. I think I'll be all right, especially with the variations. I built 12 Master Grade Phoenicia Renacetas once within the span of like 2 weeks.
Because you're insane.
No.
I know why you did it. You've told this story multiple times.
Yeah. Bluefin was like, hey, we need people to build these for displays in Barnes & Noble. And I was like, okay, I can build 12 of those.
And so he did.
And so I did.
Yeah, Carl says you'll be the first person to review all 40. Nope, that's not true. Zach will beat him for that, and Mecha Gecko 2 will definitely beat him before that.
If they get those sets.
Oh, you know they're gonna get it. Of course they will.
I don't know. I can see them getting the commander units, but I don't think they're gonna shell out for the.
You think Prime 92? No, not Prime 92. Charlie 426. Charlie buys P Bandai only now, so
Yeah.
he might go all out. He'll definitely get the commanders, but I don't know if he'll get the whole thing, depending on the price. I mean, I'm crazy enough that I would do it, but then I would be like, okay, who's taking some Maganox home? It's like build them all and then like do it. I think it'd be fun as a build party, personally.
It would be fun as a build party. I don't have any local friends to build anymore.
I know you need to come to Texas.
I should go to Texas.
And dude, you were in Manila for a month. It's about the same humidity, a little bit hotter, but you're losing weight anyways, so it'll help you.
Illinois' summers are probably worse than Manila, to be honest.
This boy don't know summer.
110 degrees, 100% humidity.
It's 120 with that much humidity down here.
Some days.
Like your air conditioning is not blowing cold anymore. Air conditioning. Ernest don't know nothing about hot summers where he's at.
I'm an Illinois man for sure.
I know. That's joking. See, there you go. You can go play with Ernest.
Bye, Antonio.
Oh, Antonio's leaving?
Heading back to work. Much love.
Yes. Yeah, his if you haven't signed into the email, Joey, but when you see his update for his build, it's ridiculous. Like he didn't plan, I don't think, on expanding it, but once he had the ability, he went nuts. Like I don't know how he pulled off what he did in the short amount of time since we did the extension.
Well, I'm excited to see it.
Oh, it's crazy. Josh Fisher's still working hard on his. He keeps sending me update photos. He decided to do 72 LEDs in his.
Wow.
So he underestimated how long it would take him to wire 72 LEDs in one diorama. So he's still working on it. He's doing a whole lot of post-production, so to speak. So it should be good. I'm expecting. Hey, Zeta Gunplus popping in for a little bit. It's super late on his side of the world.
How's it going, Jared?
We don't use his real name.
Why?
I don't know, because he doesn't. I don't know. Why does he open boxes with a freaking log thing?
And he uses the name Jared Mesa on Facebook. So that's why I called him Jared.
Just throw it out there.
If you're weak, you won't survive.
He's Jared. Mr. Jared. What's up, buddy? So did you get your water slides in? Your custom water slides for your Rick ball dom? Dias. Your ball Dias.
Oh, he likes me.
Joey can use my name, but only Joey. Jared. I'm sending in a pic of my balls themselves. They're pretty majestic. Steve, don't do that. Shut up, Steve. I haven't told Steve to shut up in a while. It's been a long time since I told Steve to shut up on a live stream.
Steve, you can keep talking. I give you permission.
No, Steve.
Shoky's channel.
Steve hasn't bought a T-shirt this year for the charity, so he can't talk right now.
Oh, okay.
Bad, Steve. Bad. I did order myself a Shut Up Coffee Machine shirt. I'm waiting on the mug, but I will get one. I do want a Shut Up Coffee Machine mug because it looks funny. Because I'm an asshole on my own channel. I got to make fun of myself. Let's see here. MG Zaku Warrior will be a standard release, maybe. Zaku Warrior, which one was that? Not the Kai.
No, it's the one from Seed.
Oh, the MG Zaku Warrior. Yeah, that's P Bandai though.
No, it's not.
That's it's not. I thought it was P Bandai. Or is it P Bandai? The quote unquote ones like the some that we had last year.
No, that'll be a normal release.
Excuse me, sorry. Beer. Decals will be in this week, but he's away all week, out of state. Well, I guess you'll have to hurry through them, won't you? It's like you only have so long. I keep forgetting it's actually the 25th 21st is when it's due by. It didn't take that long to do things. Speaking of really cool things, I got me a cool new Lord Zed.
Oh, I'm actually curious to see how that one is.
It's actually molded very nicely, but the proportions on these seem a little off. Like he's got an abnormally long torso, but I don't know if that just have to do with his thong. I know Zed always looked a little weird, But I noticed it with all the Rangers so far. Most of them have really long torsos, but they also have very, very good articulation. But the legs are the problem. He does have like super loose hip joints. And some of his things that were pegged in were not pegged in out of the box. But I saw shortly before we started rolling, somebody posted that like, okay, I've seen some weird mistakes before in packaging and some weird things, but this is new. So it was a Lord Zed packaging, but it had a Marvel Legends, I forgot her name, not Valkyrie, but the other one from that wave in that box. And it's like, and he showed us like, look, the tape is still sealed and everything. They just got it in there. I was like, that's not the same style packaging as a Marvel Legends. It's not just gonna fit. And it's a completely different shaped figure. So it's like whatever you did to make that work for that.
Yeah.
Applause. And it wasn't a swap out either, because you know, it was sealed unless they cut down the side of the box or something like that. But he's a really cool figure. The only thing that sucks is his staff is really crappy gray plastic. Everything else is nice. Zeta got the Kyoryuger red. That's pretty cool. I see Rodimus 13. Thomas, if you're not doing much, you could jump in. I know you're probably not set up for it right now, but you know, you can always make it. Dino Thunder in the States, I think. Yep. What if I decal my balls? I can enter them? No, Steve.
Shame class.
No, even that doesn't. Yeah, okay. For $400, you can enter your balls, Steve.
Ultra shame class.
Yeah, just the Steve class. That counts. I do want to get the White Ranger. I had him in hand, but I decided to be good because I had just spent a lot more money than anticipated on a few other things. Not to mention my parking ticket the other day, because that's a good way to kick off your vacation, is to get a parking ticket. Joey's coughing.
Yeah, I actually saw the White Ranger at the store. I was just at the store getting supplies for Mother's Day, and I almost bought it just for nostalgia's sake. But I have no other Power Rangers figures.
Yeah, that is a problem, because I've got the legacies that I've got, but I do want to compare because I know it's definitely a very different mold.
Oh yeah,
I think there's a huge size difference too between the two of them, right?
It's got to be. There's got to be something where it's a little bit smaller, kind of like Figwarts. But they're still in the same quote unquote 6-inch size class. But you know, they won't go with the legacies. But I do want to compare, because I like some of the details on Legacy, but the paint and everything is generally better on the Lightning collection. Being that there is paint.
Well, that wash on Zed looks amazing.
Yeah,
it looked really good.
And it's fairly well even. It's a little dark in some spots, but it's not like unnatural dark. Oh, I just noticed mine has some like paint overspray on his brain. I didn't catch that before.
Is this a Nazi stream by any chance? No, that's a Xeon flag.
Yeah, Joey, you're gonna get me flagged.
No. It's a Xeon flag from an anime, Mobile Suit Gundam. It's not a Nazi flag.
It's okay. Zeta's never seen anything but Zeta Gundam, so he wouldn't know.
It's who's the Jewish Internet Defense Force?
Okay, that's a first. I haven't seen that person. I don't know who that is.
Huh?
That's a first. No, this is not Nazis by any. I mean, if anything, it's future space Nazis.
No,
but it's not current or past Earth Nazis. It's just people who want to fight for independence and they're doing it wrong.
Am I actually going to get you flagged? I'll take it down.
No, you've been on stream before, and it doesn't matter. I mean, anybody who looks at it can tell it's not actually it doesn't even have a swastika on it. It's not a Nazi flag. It's a
but my head's in the way. And
Principality of Xeon. Actually, that's what makes it worse, I think, is that your head's covering the real symbol, so they can't tell. They just see the red, black, and white. It's all good though.
Jewish Internet Defense Force. Sorry.
That's weird. It's like, did they just track down random Nazi-looking things and pop in? Or is that one of my subscribers? That's hilarious. The flag is fine. We know the flag is fine, but not everybody who doesn't know what Gundam is knows the flag's fine. Let's see here. I'm just seeing who all is online. I got some online peoples here. But either way. So what's going on with you, Ernest? We've been talking a lot.
Not much. I've been kind of taking a hiatus on a lot of purchasing of figures and things because I had a couple of big purchases coming through here pretty soon. I have that 1,000 Toys Hellboy figure coming in.
That does look sick.
Looks really good. I'm really excited to get that into the collection. But yeah, for the most part, it's kind of really just been absorbing in all of the Marvel hype that's been going around. All of the just the normal geeky nerdy stuff that's been just kind of finally seeing its culmination. Everything with Star Wars and getting ready to release their what's it called, The Mandalorian, on their streaming service and everything. So
yeah,
there's just Disney. A bunch of things that I'm really getting excited about. And then they're going to be starting to drop all the which I still don't know how I feel about it, but the re-release of the vintage figures, Hasbro's re-release of the vintage figures, kind of, I think I'm going to wait till I see them in store and decide when I see them if I want to pick them up or not. Right now, I'm just kind of like, I don't think I want to, but
are you talking about the 3 3/4 or the 6?
The 3 3/4. The 6-inch ones, I'm definitely going to pick up for sure.
Well, I saw, because I knew they had the re-release of Yoda coming back out. Which actually I saw the original. I had the original in hand at Dallas Vintage Toys. But I was just like, no, I'm not paying this price. Because I knew it was coming back out. Now I do want to grab a Darth Maul when that comes out. If that Obi-Wan does actually come out in retail release, I definitely would like that. I want to get some pretty cool stuff, even though the Mace Windu I picked up is going to Arthur, so I'm not getting to keep that one. But I had Padme in hand yesterday, day before, at GameStop, and a droid trooper, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm thinking about that because I love droids because they're so easy to not screw up. So, but it's like I had to think to myself, it's like, okay, if I buy more Star Wars stuff, I'm gonna have to start moving things. Because I already need another Billy as it is, just to make room for Transformers, which I'm already planning my next few purchases that aren't Legends class.
Well, they I just saw someone in Cannibals posting about the new wave of the prequel stuff. It has Dooku and who else was there? There were a couple of I think there was a Stormtrooper and some other people, but honestly, I'm a original trilogy fan, but some of those prequel figures look amazing. That I ended up picking up Padme or whatever, because she looked like way better in hand than I.
And she looks like Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
like,
it's ridiculous
to a decent effect.
I even considered, I was like, oh, this might be a cool figure to put with Thor, and I just pop her head off and stick her on a different body to be his girlfriend. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff. I definitely want to get my hands on that 3 3/4. What's his name? That's going in the, oh my gosh, the box, the board game.
I'm letting you hang on.
Tarkin.
Oh, okay.
They have Tarkin coming out, but he's only going to be released in a board game, and so kind of like, oh, I definitely want to get that. But
so wait, they're releasing a quote unquote limited 3 3/4 with a board game.
Yep, the Star Wars board game. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Zeta Gunpla also ordered a Padme.
I saw that. He's just trying to be a copycat. he's just trying to be as cool as Ernest. Why'd you order it? You can just pick it up at a GameStop. And they're like just sitting there. It seems like they went nationwide, whereas everybody was chasing them down before. Oh, another one I want to get is that Stormtrooper Luke, Target exclusive.
Yeah, with the slick back hair.
With the slick back hair, which looks really weird. Apparently it hit town and somebody found one that got put out because somebody in the Houston Toy Psycho said, "Hey, is this new?" You didn't, or they were just trolling one way or the other just to stir things. No GameStops in your area. Well, it sucks to be you. If only you knew somebody who toy hunted all the time that could pick that up for you. But yeah, no, I want to get that GameStop Luke, but I'm worried that it's gonna have to be like Leia was, and you're gonna have to ask to get it out of the back for like 6 weeks until they load them all out and just the whole shelf. My Target has nothing but Solo and episode 8 stuff still up. There's like nothing new.
Yeah, I have one Solo figure and one Chewbacca figure. Everything else is gone. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
I still need a classic Chewie, so that if they re-release a vintage Chewie, I need one. Although I thought I saw one for sale, I think on BBTS, may have been in their Star Wars clear out.
Yeah, they had a bunch of stuff on clearance.
Yeah, so I need to relook at that because I need actually I need an old man Han to go with I need an old man Han, I need a young Han, and I need an old Chewie to kind of just balance out because now I have young Chewie with middle-aged Han.
I need an old priest and a young priest.
Nope, letting you hang on that one. Why? Do you have a little girl spitting up green pea soup everywhere?
Yeah, she's in my Gundam room. It's not good.
And you left her alone in there with your backlog?
Look, she was crawling up the walls, man.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You don't want to do that. Going up the stairs backwards. A Starkiller figure would be cool. Yeah. I don't know that are they going to include anything?
That seems more of like
it would have to be a fan vote figure,
yeah.
like Jaina and the other one. But no, it's just I don't know. I kind of need some more bad guys because like I've got my bad guy shelf is a little bit smaller. Oh, the Palpatine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The Palpatine throne. Yeah. I need that because he needs to sit next to.
Everybody needs that one that's going to be coming out.
I want to have him set up right next to Snoke on the throne, and they're like reaching over and holding each other's hands. So it's like, and then looking at each other like, we got this, boo. Yeah. It's like, who are you? It doesn't matter.
In my display case, I have a spot specifically waiting for that figure. I'm really excited. I hope they release a C-3PO that you can pop the limbs off of and stick them in like a little backpack
They just need a Chewie with do the premium figure Chewie with C-3PO backpack. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
And please, for the love of God, give me a re-release of R2-D2. I have no R2s, and they have not done a re-release of him in a few years.
Well, they did that vintage wave of him.
Yeah, and then it was gone. Because I can't find that anywhere. I'm like almost at the point that I will build like one of the Bandai kits just to have it with it because it's the same scale.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a better scale than the.
Or is that one? Series. Okay, then that doesn't help me.
The Black Series, it runs a little small.
It's 1/18 ish.
Yeah, I mean they look noticeably small compared to how it should be.
Yeah, because the Star Wars are 1/12, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, so that wouldn't work. Shit. Maybe Kotobuki. I think the Kotobuki ones are smaller.
Wait, they don't have. I thought the Bandai kits had 1/12 versions.
That's what I'm saying. But it's their one. No, wait, I forgot. 1/18? Yeah. Is that? Well, what are the normal 6-inch figs? What's that scale? Is that 1/18 or 1/12?
1/12.
Oh, then I have my numbers wrong and I'm an idiot. Either way, Joey's like, I want a Picard. They have a Picard from McFarlane Toys. Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But it comes with his whistle.
Oh, his flute?
It comes with his flute. Yeah, sorry. That's what I meant. It comes with his flute. But awesome. It doesn't come with a cup of Earl Grey hot.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
If they did a Janeway, she would have to have her lucky coffee mug.
Or a hidden pack of cigarettes.
For Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have they shown any like wave 2 of that yet?
I don't think so. Like actually, other than on the back of the box, it shows off like Spock and who was it? Uhura, I think. No, not Uhura. It was somebody else from TNG.
Sometimes I wish I was a figure collector. Someone else from TNG, was it Troy?
I don't think so. It would have to. Well, because if they're going Spock and Kirk, but it wasn't. It wasn't
Riker.
No, I would remember if it was Riker. That's why I'm like I can't remember. But if I see it again, because they're generally available at Walgreens, but I've seen them elsewhere. If only we had the internet nearby. Internet. Internet. Somebody in the chat, tell us what the other McFarlane Toys figures are. They're pretty good. The Picard, it's a decent likeness to Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
But it's a good looking figure. I mean, it's McFarlane quality. Take it however you like it.
The Bandai kit Star Wars figures are 1/12 scale.
Yeah, that's for. I knew that part. I had my size for the toys wrong in my head. Okay. 1/18 would be 3 3/4.
Yeah, it would be G.I. Joe. Yeah.
G.I. Joe size. Yeah, that's where I was dumb. That's why that one brand is 1/12. Or Mezco is 1/12.
Mezco, yeah.
Yeah. And then 1,000 toys, that has nothing to do with anything. That's just what they call themselves. I like when Arthur called it 1/1000th. No, that's not a scale size. It's like that's not a ratio. That's just what they call themselves. I still haven't gotten into Mezcos. I don't want to go. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Same thing with Storm Collectibles. If I start,
if I hadn't already started, the 89 Keaton would be the one I would get in if I hadn't already been collecting, for sure.
Yeah. I've got enough lines to feed as it is, and starting off in the Common Writer direction for model kits is already changing things up.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
What's that?
Those kits.
Oh.
How are they? Are they?
Well, I've done Build, which is right over here over my shoulder, and he was like the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently since then they've even upgraded the joints. But I mean, I love that kit. It was one of my favorite ones of last year. Spock, Burnham, Takuvma. That doesn't sound right. Why would they? I guess they're going in Destiny direction. Odd. Oh, unless it's all Destiny version. Not Destiny. Fuck. Discovery. Wrong show.
Oh, I can watch that now.
Oh, you can? You have the CBS All Access?
No. I got NordVPN, so I can watch Netflix from Canada.
And Netflix in Canada has it?
Yes.
Nice. I need to get a NordVPN. Anybody want to sponsor?
Honestly, it was only like $115 for 3 years.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So I got it.
Let me grab these kits here to show Ernest, or at least the best I can. So there's Geo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, and he does come with he comes with the nice premium silver plastic, not like the crap that they used to do.
Oh, okay.
And sorry, I'm doing this on camera, so I can't see. So he comes with his weapons. He comes with decent stickers, which is the good thing about Figure-Eyes. The stickers actually aren't garbage. I'm trying to show things off, Joey. Hold on. Every time I make a noise, it goes away. Comes with all the different hands. Comes with the weapons. All the cool stuff. So I'm sure you're gonna need details, but like the stickers for the Jiku driver is actually pretty good. But he's not the impressive one. Kabuto is the impressive one.
Ooh, pretty.
And come down here. He comes with. I don't think he comes with the effects. I think that's just advertising new effects that are coming. Comes with his weapons. Comes with the different drivers. Comes with the different. I forgot what they're called. Where is it? Tiny print. I'm blind here. Okay, so he comes with all of his weapons. Okay, it doesn't say on here. It's not helping me out here. But I love that it comes with his extra armor, the driver, all the cool stuff, and like the details are so much nicer.
Yeah, the one Figure-Eyes kit I put together, I was really impressed with the sort of color separation on the plastics. I was actually surprised. I thought there would be less. There was definitely more than I was expecting.
Well, the one thing that sucks about these is that they are very sticker heavy, but they don't look out of place when they're actually put on. So with Build, unless you really get in close, you can't tell how many stickers are on it. Okay, so that's his outer armor, all of his hands. Nice metallic red plastic. So you got real nice metallic red, real nice silver.
Do all of the Figure-Eyes do they have a set sort of scale amongst each other, all the figures? So...
I do think so. I don't know what scale that technically would be. It's just like figurized scale in the same way that other things are very similar to that. But it doesn't have like a size class. They're all just in this size. So that would be their standard, I guess. But this one, and Fies looks really awesome as well. I'm not afraid of the stickers on these. I mean, the ones on Naruto looked a little bit odd in some places because it starts adding a little bit of cartooniness to something that's supposed to look kind of real. But like, look at that. Look at that nice coated silver.
That is nice.
That looks like Tamiya paint.
Yeah, it does.
You're gonna have nub marks all over that thing, man.
Let's see here. Yeah, it's not quite undergated, but it looks like all the parts where the nubs are going to be are hidden away.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, well, except for the V fin.
Someone in the comments had asked what I was doing. I'm working on a Megami device model kit.
And he does have the ride watch holders and all the good molded stuff. One thing is they're definitely not short of is molded detail. I love that the that's the wrong bag. And they all come with the stand, which is awesome. So he does come with the visor with a nice cleared and textured visor to make it really pop. So I'm excited about this one. And so he's not super sticker heavy either.
So Figurized just does the figures. They don't actually do any of the vehicles or anything like that?
They do actually, in the case of Dragon Ball, they did Bulma's transforming motorcycle. They technically Trunks' time machine is Figurized standard. Whether they'll do that for Kamen Rider down the line, who knows?
Vegeta's space pod.
Yeah, but that figure didn't move. That was all more or less a statue.
Yeah.
But you're correct. You're correct in that it was a vehicle they did do. Which by the way, when I was at GameStop, I saw something new from Dragon Stars, and it was like a little tiny miniature Frieza spaceship. Ooh. And you could get itty bitty figures that can like battle on top of it. Yes, he does have the armor. I just want Ryuki and Kivala. That's fine. I want Ghost. The Ghost with a few things. Oh my god, the who is it? I posted it the other day. Let me go back and look. There's a Ghost figure coming. I have text messages. Oh, it's from Sam. Sorry, buddy. It's after 10 o'clock. My messenger goes quiet. But there's a new one in the I'm drawing a blank here. Not Figma, the other ones. Where are you? I was sharing all the stuff from Shizuoka, so now I got to scroll through all that. All right, we didn't even talk about the Shizuoka stuff, Joey.
Oh my god. I'm so excited.
That was a pretty big inhale.
Yeah, I know.
The Kamen Rider SIC Ghost Ori Damashi. It's so beautiful. I don't even care that it costs as much as it does. I love the SIC line.
Good night, Zeta.
Be gone.
The Woody and Buzz Lightyear model kits from Bandai coming out.
Those are figurized, but not standard. They called them something else.
They did.
What is it called? It's not movie. Something like that. It's something like that to play with the fact that they're in a movie, or something like that. But no, those look scary. Like if you look at it, you're like, how are they doing this magic? And of course, because Bandai and Disney now have a nice partnership, we could just get all the fun stuff, even though technically Pixar, but you know. The Buzz looks way too good for what it is.
Right? It even has that like a pop-out gimmick for the wings.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So that's I just interested. I'm assuming they're going to be roughly that size or toy size, so to speak. But Buzz Lightyear in universe was much bigger than Woody as a figure, or one of them was bigger than the other. I think Woody was taller, but as a figure, he was bigger.
Yeah, Buzz was like very hefty.
Yeah, well, not just because of the spacesuit, but he was also a completely different thingy to do. Actually, I can go ahead and close that. Let's close that.
Okay. Thingy do.
Thingy to do.
Thingy to do.
So, Joey, how bad do you have to buy that HG Penelope?
I can pass for now.
Okay, I just didn't know.
I'm excited. It's cool, but I don't know, big bulky designs on kits that I know are gonna be not very articulate because of all the armor. I don't know, not my thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a brick, but it might be a very pretty brick. They're just like, hey, we need to advertise Hathaway's Flash. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot. They have the Figurized Standard double line coming out. So all the double Kamen Riders are coming. Okay, I'm trying to find these damn Toy Story things so I can remember what the heck they're called. I'm on Big Bad Toy Store. Come on, scroll down further. Thank you.
The master grade version of the Penelope.
That would be ridiculous.
It'll be ridiculous. Not.
That would be an RE.
I don't know. It's not completely outside of the realm of possibility. The Sazumi Verka was humongous.
Yeah, but
and it doesn't.
Katoki.
Yeah, I think Katoki is going to do a Penelope Verka. I could see that, or at least a Cassie.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten a Zeta Verka, which I'm actually kind of expecting at the end of the year, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's a little surprising. I'm expecting other things from Katoki later this year. Per some spoilers I was given.
You always get spoilers.
Well, somebody keeps telling me what things are coming, and I can't necessarily talk about them.
I totally understand. All I'm saying though is, if that person happens to be listening right now, you should hook a brother up and let me know. I promise to keep my mouth shut.
I thought I told you already.
I don't think you did.
Okay, well, good.
You have told me things in the past, but I don't think you've told me anything about Everka.
Okay. Dang it, they're not helping me out here. All I wanted to know was Bandai Spirits. I forgot to type in Spirits. Now I'm going to be down this giant rabbit hole here. Okay, not Mobile Suit Gundam. I don't want that. Not Figuarts. Not Solo Chigoken, although I do want all those things.
We have a perfect grade Zeta.
Yeah, I was going to say, who said there wasn't one? Okay, no, not.
And from my understanding, I think it was the third or fourth master or perfect grade ever made, but it's actually really good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the PG Zeta. Okay, let's see here. Scrolling through. Where are you now? Oh yeah, Iron Man Nano Armor. That's awesome. Yeah, just wait till they get to Figurized Standard Marvel stuff. That'd be great. If and when.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
They just got to figure out the licensing more than likely.
I had heard. No, I didn't hear. I saw a prototype. It wasn't this past show. It was a show earlier this year in March, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been February. That they're going to do Figurized Standard. Sword Art Online.
Really?
Yeah.
I would be down for this.
I'd be down for that too. And it's supposed to be kind of Bandai's answer to the Megami device girls.
Oh, it's going to be like that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I just want a Kirito. I want Kirito in all his different outfits throughout the series. With his different swords. And his Starburst stream.
Have a good night, Rodimus.
Yep, he's going away. Okay, I said I wanted pre-orders, but it's showing me all the in-stock crap. I hate this game. This is so dumb. Okay, hold on. Is that gonna? There we go. Finally, Jesus. Oh, Cinema Rise. That's what it's called. Okay, I knew it was something like that.
Is that an offshoot of it?
Yeah, that's what the Toy Story figures are. So I'm guessing now if it's something from a movie, they're gonna put it in the Cinema Rise line. I mean, like, other than like the like the spherical joints and the elbow, like, which I guess is about as close as you can get to how Woody works. But like the face, like these have got to just be 3D renders. Yeah, they are. But like it's a seamless face, so that just means you're gonna be swapping heads. That's the only way you can pull it off. Because he's got completely different expressions.
I'm kind of hoping that they can recreate, because I missed my chance to get that Figma Woody, the creepy face Woody.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of hoping you could do the same thing with that figure eyes.
I'm only hoping that they come with the burn on his forehead.
Oh yeah,
because it looks perfect currently. Yeah, Buzz does look pretty cool. I can't.
You could do it yourself.
Buzz looks amazing.
It's gonna be so sticker heavy though. I mean, you can. I mean, like I guess because it's a toy. I think the only thing that looks weird on Buzz is the eyes.
Really? I mean,
if you look at the pictures, it doesn't look. There's a big difference between Buzz's eyes and Woody's eyes. Woody's eyes look right in a way. I don't know how another way to say that, but like for some reason Buzz's eyes don't look quite right. But then again, once again, these are either just renders. It's hard to tell. I mean, it looks cool overall. Okay, so the wings flip out and pop out. Well, in theory, they'll spring. More than likely, they'll just move. But the cool thing is you can actually have seam lines on Buzz, and it's accurate.
For Buzz, there's a diagram showing how the wings go together, and there are springs. It's spring loaded.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I'm only looking at the pre-sale information. Either way, that's a really cool thing. I don't know if I'll get those or not. They're neat, but once again, do I go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Will Bandai ever make IGPX kits? I don't know what that is.
What is IGPX?
Tell us, Killjoy. Figure's Asuna prototype was leaked. Okay, well, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the F90. So F90, I might pick that one up. I like the design of the F90, but I don't need the mission packs. I don't know. I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of the year. I've got so many kits I need to build, and I'm running way behind, and I got customs to finish. Giant racing robot anime. Oh, I have no idea. Probably not. It's like, we haven't heard of it, so probably not. I'm assuming that would be cool. Oh, and then there's the Bandai Warhammer figures that are coming.
Oh, yeah. I'm not into Warhammer, but those look pretty cool.
Yeah. But they're not going to do model kits. So they'll be pre-painted and everything, which seems to be angering some people. They're like, but I want to paint it. It's 40K. Why can't you just let me paint it, Warhammer? Warhammer Bandai?
You can paint figures.
They can't. It's impossible. Can't be done. Nobody customizes figures ever. Okay. Now I feel like I need to look that up. IGPX. Now I'm just interested now. IGPX.
Is that the
Immortal Grand Prix?
Haley Joel Osment did a voice for? Or am I thinking?
Oh, those are pretty cool. Just looking at the images. I don't know. That looks like something Kotobukiya would do. Oh, it's a video game too. Oh yeah, for sure. That's way more of a Kotobukiya thing. That's right in their wheelhouse. Yeah, I would say Bandai probably wouldn't make their stuff. In theory. Depending on who put that anime out. It's a Grand Prix. As we used to say as kids. It's Grand Prix. Why is my phone continually buzzing?
Dude, you would need figure stands for those. There's no way those things would stand on those feet.
No. This would have to be stands. Nice. Okay. Oh, did you see this? All the stuff that people are basically blaming Emilia Clarke for that Starbucks incident in Game of Thrones. She's in town right now for Comic Palooza, so like I guarantee almost everybody who got to get up close was like, "Was it you? Did you do it?"
That's so terrible. That poor girl.
I love the fact that they've gone back and edited it now. So if you actually watch the episode now, it's out. It's been edited out. So wait, that means they knew about it, put it out to make sure it was on time, and then edited it after people noticed. It's kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I'll have to give it to them.
There's no
Sonic the Hedgehog thing because it was a terrible design.
There's no way they were gonna let that roll. There's no way.
Too much backlash.
I don't think they were planning on it. I think they had a good Sonic ready to go the whole time. Put out this garbage to stir it up, stir the pot, and stir interest, and then they could say, "Look what we did for y'all," and it's going to look perfect in the end result.
Think?
Well, they got like 6 months to redo like most of the movie
because the live action turtles looks terrible because they have freaking nostrils.
Okay, but they also changed that between movies and between the trailer and the actual movie. They did make adjustments.
They still have nostrils, dude.
They should have nostrils. They're creatures that need to breathe. Turtles have nostrils. Joey.
I know, but not like that.
Joey's a turtle nostril denier.
I thought you were going to say turtle Nazi.
You're a turtle Nazi. Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
I don't know. I feel like with how well the Pokemon movie looks.
Oh yeah, because we didn't talk about it yet.
Looks with live action characters, it's like night and day.
Okay, so we brought it up before we started rolling. So I did see Detective Pikachu yesterday, and it was great. It was a great movie. There's only like a couple instances where your disbelief got a little bit, dispelled. But for the most part, it's a great movie. It was written well. Some of the actors were hamming it up a little much, but I'm guessing that was kind of the point.
Do you have to know a lot about Pokemon to enjoy it?
I would say Generation 1. If you've seen Generation 1 or you've seen the original Pokemon movie, that's about all you need to know.
Okay.
You don't need to know the anime or anything like that because it doesn't have anything to do with it. Other than this is so weird, and this isn't really spoilers because you see Mewtwo in the trailer. In this universe, you are in the Pokemon world. Supposedly, that's the same one from the anime because they directly reference events in the anime, such as the creation of Mewtwo 20 years ago. And it's been 20 years since the original Pokemon movie. So that was 1999. So they do reference that. So, but we brought up an interesting point, and it's also sort of in the trailers. They're doing a parade, so they've got Pokemon balloons, like the big kind of street inflatable balloons. But the balloons look like the anime versions of Pokemon. So that got me thinking, in that universe, do they have a Pokemon anime? Kind of like we have more like real life anime. In the Pokemon world, do they have that? And they have animated Pokemon and all that stuff too. Because you would think that if it's that similar to our world, they would. Because they didn't look like the balloons didn't look like the real Pokemon we're seeing on screen. They look just like the anime models. So it's an interesting concept to think that maybe that's a thing in their universe. I closed the video by accident. There's a chat. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing about it, and just minor spoilers. I'm not going to say who, but one of the characters was singing the Pokemon theme song in the movie. So that also sort of lets you believe that in that universe that the show does exist.
Did Ryan Reynolds do a pretty good job with the voice acting?
Oh yeah, for sure. He was great as Pikachu. Justice Smith did great in his role, but he's a pretty decent actor. He's only had so few roles, but he nailed it. And what's really funny, like for everybody who's grown up on Pokemon and watched it forever, and you're like, how are they going to make these things look kind of real? And they do it. It's the craziest thing. You're all like, I wouldn't have necessarily thought to do that, but it makes total sense in the real world. And you see God knows how many Pokemon. Like, you'll have to watch it many times and probably watch it on DVD or Blu-ray to really pause and catch all of the Pokemon that are around.
So it's like Ready Player One, lots of references.
Lots and lots of references, lots and lots of Pokemon. And it was real funny at one point, Pikachu goes, "Oh, dear sweet Arceus." It's like, but then he says God in the next sentence. So it's like, okay, wait, who is he talking about? God of Pokemon or the regular God? But it's funny that's a thing in that universe. But it's like they reference like almost every series that has come. So you see references and you see Pokemon of all types from all different regions. So it's kind of like it's covered right at the beginning of the movie, so not a huge spoiler at all. That Rhyme City is a place where humans and Pokemon are supposed to coexist, like not be slaves for one another or anything like that. There's no battles, there's nothing. They just live and do whatever they want, and everybody supports everybody. They're just coexisting with Pokemon in the city. So the Pokemon that are there, while they might choose to partner up with people, for the most part, they're just free to do whatever they want, as long as they're not, causing any issues.
So it's a movie to make PETA happy. Got it.
Yeah, kind of, to some degree, but then there's other stuff that definitely happens in this movie. But my favorite thing out of the whole movie were the Bulbasaurs, and you see them in the trailer. They're so cute, like a realistic looking Bulbasaur that actually kind of acts. The only thing they didn't do that made me mad was they didn't use Vine Whip or anything like that. Like, it would have been cool to see them like pick something up with their vines. But some of the Pokemon do say their names to communicate, like they normally would do. And some of them just make animalistic noises. So it's a big change. Like Charizard does, growling and roaring and stuff like that. Other ones just make more animalistic sounds. Like Bulbasaur doesn't say Bulba. It sounds like a frog. So because it is kind of a frog.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a garlic frog, basically. So they sound like frogs. They chirp kind of like frogs do, and then they make other noises. But then other things, like, it's so funny because Jigglypuff you see Jigglypuff in the thing. It does sing the exact song from the anime, and it's like got a dude passed out next to it. It's so funny. Like, a good thing it's not singing very loud. It would make everybody pass out. I think the most terrifying Pokemon. Oh, there's two very terrifying Pokemon. One is not in the trailer, so I won't say what it is. The other one is the Ludicolo that's in the trailer in the bar. I think it's terrifying. It's like if I walked up on one of those, it would scare the shit out of me.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Go watch the trailer. It's the one that's behind the bar that he orders a drink from.
Okay.
It is terrifying in real life. Or in this aspect. Psyduck was great, despite what it did in the movie. It was actually really funny as a side character. But they had a whole side story with what's going on with Psyduck. It was great. But no,
it was figures or
yes,
kits or anything.
They do have figures.
Okay.
If you go to like Target, Walmart, and all that stuff, they've got a whole bunch of figure lines that look like the ones from the movie, not like classics. So it's pretty cool. I saw them at Target the other day. I was like, wow, this, other than like being super, hyper realistic, they look closer to the on-screen models, not the anime models or the video game models for that matter. The Legos or Mega Bloks rather, they've got all those coming out. They have I think it's a close to 1-to-1 Detective Pikachu that's huge. It's a good movie, and it has two twists that I did not see coming. I was so involved in the movie, I did not see these twists coming. And that's important. Like, the one was like, it had been very lightly spoiled for me. I started watching a review before we went to the movie, and it got to that point, and they very quickly rolled into it instead of giving a good gap. Like, oh, hey, spoilers. It was like, hey, what about this thing? Oh, spoilers. It was like, son of a bitch. But the main twist of the movie was not spoiled for me, and I didn't see coming. The wife said that she did. She's like, "Oh, that totally makes sense because of this," and I didn't even catch that because I was so engrossed in this quote unquote children's movie. So that's why I was like, it really was that good. I mean, it's not Oscar worthy by any means. But it's a great popcorn munching movie. It mostly engages you throughout it. There's like one or two small lulls. And only one of like the main human characters will drive you nuts. Like, just shut up. It's like,
so
what?
And feel free to answer this question via chat instead of like direct message instead of on the live stream here. Is Ash Ketchum mentioned at any point?
No, which is why I think that that version of the anime I don't believe exists.
Okay.
But they also weren't. It was a very focused story with things going on in Rhyme City, so they didn't really talk about stuff that happened outside of that. They do mention other cities and Pokemon League and stuff like that, so we know that we're in that world. But it's a very small focused story. Now there is one character that pops up, no name, but when he's on screen, you're like, I know who that is.
Is it Brock because his eyes are closed?
No, but that would have been great.
I think my only other question is, does Pikachu ever break the fourth wall?
No, but there's some definite Deadpool moments.
Okay.
There are moments where you're like, that is not what Pikachu would say. That is Deadpool. For sure. He just wasn't allowed to cuss. There's some definite like Deadpool references they're very overt, but they're there because it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. I mean, like, there's other than that, no. I don't think he never directly addresses the screen or anything because he hardly knows what's going on where he is anyways. Whereas Deadpool is generally hyper aware of everything. So he's playing in the reality he's in. So gotcha. That's a good thing. And they play with some stuff in this movie, and you're just like, okay, that's a thing. And you're like, okay, are they going to explore this in the future? Because if this is canon, that would be impressive. So if like in the next game, in Sword and Shield, if they somehow brought up Rhyme City, which totally has the London egg in it, like 100%, that's what it is.
I have no idea what that is.
Well, I don't think that's what it's officially called, but that kind of looks like it looks like a Fabergé egg. It's that building that looks like a Fabergé egg that's in London.
Oh, okay.
That's 100% in the movie. So you're like, wait, is this fictional London? Like, because if Rhyme City is in Sword and Shield, this would be a hell of a way to accidentally promote that movie. But because there's no new generation of Pokemon, they're all older generations. That's the only thing that you could maybe say that it wasn't. But we haven't seen enough of that. Hold on. No, it's not. I wasn't going into spoilers. I said very, very minor spoilers. It's fine. I wasn't spoiling anything major, just stuff you can see in the trailer. I even said that. I wasn't spoiling anything. I was talking about spoilers. But either way, I think that it seemed like a very fictional version of London. They were even using European cars.
Okay.
You see it in the trailer, actually. They were driving a G-Wiz. That old crappy electric car is their main car in this thing. But it does seem like a very European-based city. But they never said where they were in the world. Not that the Pokemon world has ever been solidified with real continents or anything like that, even though they're blatantly, oh, hey, this is Hawaii, this is Japan, this is France, that kind of stuff. So it's got to be somewhere in there. It'd be interesting to see if it was between like the Kalos region and somewhere else, because they never say. And there's one part in there where they really subvert you. You're all like, okay, that's not going to happen. Don't worry about that. And then they go way beyond what you were thinking. And you're like, okay, then that's a thing. Holy shit, that's a thing. and then they just kind of let it go. You're like, can we go back to that? I want to know more about that. That was like, holy crap.
I've never watched any Pokemon. I've seen one episode of the original series about the Diglets.
I was surprised there weren't any Diglets, honestly. It was like, that would have been a little creepy, I think, if they just like popped up out of the ground. You're like, oh shit.
Well, because they're in a city, they can't go through the cement.
Apparently they can burrow through a lot of things. Well, somehow they seem to be able to burrow through a lot of things. But they had a lot of Gen 1, Gen 2.
Dig.
Huh?
Diglets dig.
Diglett dig. They have so many, they have like multiple, probably at least 3 or 4 generations pick and choose Pokemon from. So I mean, it was pretty good. And like I said, I'm not really going into spoilers here, just teasers more or less than anything, because I don't want to fully talk about it. I'm more excited for Godzilla coming out very, very soon. King of the Monsters.
Yeah, that looks pretty slick. Some of those trailers I saw, when I went to see Endgame, they had a trailer, and I hadn't seen the trailer before seeing Endgame, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks way better than the first one. Like, for reals, way better. The monsters that they're showing, I didn't realize that they were going to have all of those monsters in the sequel, so it kind of just, I don't know, it blew me away.
The funny thing is that they've had some really impressive side marketing without really showing anything off with the Monarch website. Because they literally, you can go around the world and see all the different Monarch sites, and each one is a different monster that they may or may not tell you what that monster is.
That's awesome.
Like if you're in Antarctica, you see Monster Zero, which is of course Ghidorah. And you go over to Mexico and you see Rodan in the volcano, and then I forget where Mothra is. I think in China or Japan. I don't remember exactly.
Did they scale down Godzilla for this?
No,
sequel?
He's actually bigger.
Oh, really? Okay.
He's bigger. Apparently due to some extra, because he was more or less asleep in the first one. And then, he'd been asleep since the earlier tests. So he only woke up because of the disturbances. But then due to other things, I guess, that are happening for this new movie, that's where all the other Titans have to be awoken. So I don't know if it's because Ghidorah wakes up, or Ghidorah, if you're going to be that way. If he wakes up and then causes the others to wake up, or they all start waking up together. So basically, Godzilla and King Kong are the only ones that are technically active, even though King Kong's isolated, and Godzilla can go wherever. But I'm excited to see them interact with him, because in the third trailer they talk about, no, we're getting in this fight this time. So they've got all the fighters, they've got the bomber, and they're already talking about using the oxygen destroyer. They showed that off in international trailers, stuff like that. So we're going way back into Godzilla lore for that stuff.
Oh my god, I need to watch these trailers. I've only seen one.
Yeah, so the first teaser I thought was really good. The second trailer showed off a lot more. That's whenever he's, at the very end, they run together. And then the third one really shows things off. It shows Mothra fighting Rodan fighting Ghidorah, the extra kaiju that are coming up, because they say there's 17 kaiju in this movie.
Holy crap.
Are they going to just, from everything that I've seen, it's just been one-on-one. I wonder if they're going to do sort of like a battle royale style.
I think I think we're going to see a lot of them happen like in natural disaster form, and then it's going to turn into the one-on-one battles. I think some of them are just going to be roaming, but we're going to focus on the main 4. So, I mean, and we're also going to see Mothra evolve. So it's going to start out from larva and then get up into full form, because you see both in the trailer. And apparently 11, her she has a connection to each of the kaiju, because they're like basically having to, like, she has to go to most of the sites seemingly to wake them up.
I have to watch these trailers.
Dude, you need to watch the trailers. Like, everybody's all like, Ghidorah looks so fucking good, it's ridiculous. And he's massive. the latest trailer shows him on top of Rodan's volcano.
So King Kong is in this.
No, he won't be in this one. He might be teased, but he won't be in this one. He'll probably be the end credits.
Okay.
So we're getting the main four for
Yeah.
sure, because they're going to have to clash directly. At least whether it's all at once or individual fights, and then everybody teams up against Ghidorah one way or the other.
Will the Japanese twins have to sing Mothra's theme song to get Mothra to awaken?
No, because seemingly Millie Bobby Brown's character is the one who wakes up Mothra. Because in the trailer you see her like she's next to the cocoon.
Yeah.
And then you see it, well, you know it hatches, so the larva form like is coming towards her. She's got her hand reached out.
Yeah.
So seemingly her and her mother in the movie have some kind of connection to the Titans, because they know the history of the Titans and they seem to have a connection. And she seems to be interacting with all of them at one point in the movie. So she seems to be like one of the people that can do that. Carl says no Japanese twins. But hopefully they'll play some version of the Mothra song. Maybe it'll be an orchestral version, but that'll be funny. But no little Japanese alien girls to awaken Mothra. Or if we're gonna color that, they might. The real question is are any of them going to be aliens, quote unquote, or are they going to be all natural to Earth? Because seemingly Ghidorah may have been an invader, and the rest of them are from Earth, from the time of the Titans.
The time of the Titans.
Yeah,
I need to go back and watch some of the originals again, because I haven't watched them since I was a kid.
Yeah. That would be fun, like if they had like a pre-roll at some point. Or if we want to pretend that the Godzilla movies that were made are made because of the real events that happen in these movies. So they're fictions based on what really happened. That would be interesting, because we're going all the way back to the 1955 or 54 version is canon to this universe.
Yeah.
Everything after was not. So
right.
So that should be interesting. It would be funny if he eventually fought Shin Godzilla. But
the world would just end.
Yeah, just too much nuclear waste. But no, it'll be good. And apparently one of my favorite reviewers on YouTube got to see it in Japan already as a pre-screening, and since they're a spoiler, well, not spoiler, but their review embargo is already up, he said, dude, for everybody who complained there was not enough monster in the first movie, don't worry about it this time. It's like, we're not going to get like a human drama around monsters. We're going to get a monster drama with some humans involved. So it's going to be.
I would like to see some Jaegers, please.
I don't want to see Jaegers. I'm not going to say that the legendary universe is a thing. Now, if that was in the future down the line, but I don't know. Because then we have to say that, oh, hey, these kaijus are already native to Earth. Oh, hey, there's this rift that opens up.
They don't have to be actual Jaegers. I just want giant mechs fighting against these Titans.
You want a Mogra.
Let's
get a Mogra. It's the next thing, because we're getting a lot of the stuff. So apparently Monarch has been creating some toys to fight said things. So we just didn't see that in the other movies because it all happened too quick. And Kong versus Godzilla is happening for sure. That's the next one. So they're already working on that. But the question is like, does he clear out everybody else, or do they all just chill for a while and then we get a new, much bigger Kong?
Yeah, Kong's gonna have to be upscaled quite a bit.
Yeah, you got to think that was in the 60s.
So yeah, 70s,
60s or 70s.
Yeah,
whatever, Vietnam. And he was a baby then. So tack on an extra 40 or 50 years, to age. But, he's also the only one of his kind, supposedly. So we don't necessarily want him to die. But depending on which version of Kong versus Godzilla you watch, depending on who wins, whether it's the American or the Japanese version.
Right. Well, I mean, it's Goku versus Superman all over again.
But is it really?
No, it's not.
No. It's well, I mean, if we do get a Kong that can size up to Godzilla's new size, maybe, because he's already way too small to fight him back then. He was roughly half his size, but Godzilla's gotten bigger.
So if King Kong had stayed the same size and Godzilla's gotten so much bigger, King Kong could pull an Ant-Man and just go up Godzilla's butt.
No. You mean his cloaca?
Right.
Presumably, Godzilla has one enormous cloaca.
Yes.
The anatomy of Godzilla. It's like, how do kaijus poop? How did they make more baby kaijus? I don't know. Sorry, now I'm thinking of Game of Thrones. Because if some of the theories about tomorrow night are true, we might get a pretty impressive show.
Like what? What theories?
I don't want to spoil anything because I know there's people who are way behind. But due to the trailer and the reaction of a certain character staring up at the skies, we might see more of something that we didn't think we had any more of.
Okay, you basically
nobody knows. If they don't watch, they don't know. If anybody's caught up, they know. But if they don't know, they don't know.
Okay, if you look at the skies,
they're gonna send a fleet of Mothras.
They have more crows. So many more crows. Everyone's sending messages. Someone invented Twitter.
What would they do if they sent millions of ravens to attack? That's all Brand can do. He can only control ravens. We thought it was an impressive ability. No, he can only control ravens now. Ravens and trees, apparently. Either way, but no, I think that would be really good. How does Godzilla reproduce, if ever? So we can get a junior. We got to have Godzilla Jr.
Well, the Matthew Broderick movie showed that they lay eggs.
That was an asexual reproduction of an aquatic iguana, if I remember, a mutated iguana. So that's how that happened. That was not a kaiju, so to speak.
Technically, it was a kaiju.
It was a kaiju in being a large monster creature, yes. But we've already dealt with Zilla.
Yeah, we took the god out of Godzilla.
Yeah, there's no god. Oh, I love that in the new trailer. You have to watch that. He's like, "Oh my god, Zilla." He literally says that. I hope that's not just a trailer edit. I hope that actually is in the moment, because that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
He's a gecko. No, I forgot the type of iguana, but it's an ocean dwelling iguana from those islands. That's why they show them at the beginning of the movie. That's actually what he's mutated from.
Do you think that the Kong versus Godzilla movie is actually going to show a definitive winner, or do you think it'll be more like Batman versus Superman, where the two of them kind of battle, but then there's a larger threat that they kind of team up against?
I think it'll come down to, because it's going to be kind of hot on the trails of this movie. I don't know if they're going to have a winner. It depends on why they're fighting in the first place, because there's an obvious reason why they're going to be fighting in this movie. It's like it's either going to be just straight up animalistic, I'm the alpha, or it's going to be we have to protect the world from Ghidorah.
I'm guessing it's going to be a territorial alpha thing.
Well, that's what it's in the newest trailer. They make it sound that way, that they move as a pack. They even say that straight up, following an alpha. But then why would they fight unless they were fighting to recruit or defeat other ones? And if there's minimum, I think there's supposed to be 30 or something like that on the 30 or 40 on the Monarch website, but they've only confirmed, at least via the trailer, 17 that have woken up so far. And that goes from one that's in a mountainside to the giant spidery looking thing that's in the oil fields, stuff like that. But they've only shown roughly 6, and presumably they're counting Kong in there, but I don't think we're going to deal with him at all. I think he will be at the end, if anything. But I don't know. It depends on why they're fighting. Because if he's isolated to an island and they haven't bothered to bring him out for any reason, I don't see why Godzilla would have a reason to fight him. So there's got to be a reason. And if it's a versus movie, that means they have to fight for a reason. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I think I don't want it to be they come together at the end for a thing, but I also don't want. Well, obviously Godzilla's not going to die. Kong might get really jacked up, but I think it'll depend because Godzilla's supposed to be like this defender or whatever.
Right. I'm wondering though.
You have to pass moral judgment on other giant creatures.
I don't see how Kong can even stand a chance. Like if Godzilla has its atomic blast breath. Like,
well,
like
we did
Superman with his laser beam eyes against Batman. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on how tough he is because we saw he could stand up to some pretty impressive beatdowns, being shot, set on fire, cut with things, bit, strangled, nearly drowned, in his movie. And that's when he's more or less a baby. If he's to the size of Godzilla and he still has decent mobility and his primate intelligence, I don't know. I mean, you got to think he could literally pick up a building and start using it as a weapon. If he wants to pick up the spire of a building and use it as a spear, he could do that. We saw him use tools in that. So, I mean, he could easily, where Godzilla mostly fights as a lizard. He's swinging his tail, he's clawing at you, or he's shooting atomic breath. But if Kong is fast enough, you just avoid that shit. It's like he's going to be smart enough to know, hey, let's not stand directly in front of the fire. So we don't have a repeat of the Japanese version. Spoilers for a 40-year-old movie.
50. Almost 50.
I don't remember when that one was made, so that's what I was saying. I don't know. I think it'll be fun to see what they do with it, but I think it'll come down to why they're fighting. Because I don't think they'll be on Skull Island. That wouldn't be much of a... So there's got to be a reason Kong is not on Skull Island. And a reason that Godzilla has to deal with him.
The American government decided they needed backup, so they brought in Kong.
Well, the thing is that he's going to side with Monarch in this movie. Like, he's going to be like, okay, these guys are my friends because they're helping me beat down these other bad things. So, but then again, he might just say, so the ants decided to fight on my side this time. It's just like, okay, they're biting at what I'm trying to kill. So maybe there'll be some help. Who knows? But then again, they might be directly responsible for helping out Godzilla in other ways, judging by what happens in the trailer. So he might have a newfound respect for humans, which seemingly he did in the first one, because he took notice of what Ford did.
Yeah.
So he's, they had that little moment kind of looking at each other. And it's just like, first of all, can he see that? Like, as big as he is, can he pick out a human, like an individual human? A gorilla's fist can crush a skull. Yes, but you're also talking about a gigantic nuclear-powered skull that's breathing fire at you. They also have incredible bite force as well. So
King Kong could literally just rip Godzilla's jaws open.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he did it to T-Rexes, but that's a slightly different type of creature that doesn't breathe fire out of that hole. So yeah, it's like, but it does take him a minute to charge up that breath. So if he sees that tail lighting up, then he'll know to get the hell out of the way. Also, he seems to have some ability to communicate via light in this trailer, because you see him underwater and he's like pulsing. So it might be possible that they actually can communicate with Godzilla via light pulses. Which might be how we like, hey, we're gonna help you now. Don't kill us, please.
I wonder if they'll. I would like to see, and I know it's not going to happen. I would like to see the Cloverfield monster.
Clover, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which part of the multiverse we're in. Well, then again, because there's 4 movies in the Cloverfield universe, if we want to count the last one.
There's I think there's 3 movies, and then there's a series on Netflix.
I think it was a movie on Netflix. I don't think it was a series. I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
It's the original 10 Cloverfield Lane and a Cloverfield Incident. What was it called? The one
I'm not sure.
The one where they're in the space station. I forgot.
Yeah, that's the Netflix one. Yeah, that's the one where they like accidentally create the multiverses.
Yeah, or they access it. But yeah, that one. I don't know. It depends on which Clover they're fighting, because apparently the one from the first movie was a baby. So
yeah,
and he was fucking enormous. But I think Godzilla would have something over that. Not yet confirmed, but they say Godzilla will be in fire mode, similar to his burning mode. The toys have confirmed that they does have some type of mode like that, where he'll have like a burning mode.
But the toys could also just be selling variants.
They're not, because it clearly says it on burning mode or whatever. That's the one problem, is that toys tend to spoil movies nowadays. Which, if you were paying attention to some earlier toys, you saw a in-game spoiler, because they did show off a certain something. Well, I know somehow not everyone has seen in-game yet, so I don't want to necessarily talk about it in depth. But there are new versions of said thing coming out that I might actually have to spend money on, because they're beautiful and they light up. It's like I saw that on BBTS. I'm like, oh, I might have to buy that. It's like, damn you, Hot Toys. But yeah, no, I think he'll definitely have to have something more powerful to fight Ghidorah with, and just his normal atomic breath isn't going to cut it. Now, if he could do what Shin Godzilla does with the plasma beam, that would be cool. The focused plasma beam. But then I'm sure that Toho would be like, hey, that's ours. He's shooting purple beams at the sky.
They would totally call us on that.
I think the main reason they decided to make Godzilla bigger in this one is because Shin Godzilla went bigger. So they're like, oh, no, now we got to scale ours up. He was the biggest. Now Shin's bigger. So now we got to scale it up.
Have you seen the 3 animated films on Netflix?
Yes, technically speaking, Godzilla Earth is the biggest and always will be, but he's also the most useless.
Well, yes.
Because Godzilla Filius was technically more useful in the first movie.
Yeah.
God. The first movie I thought was the best out of those. The third movie was a big disappointment.
There was a general digression.
I mean, it was fine, but I fell asleep in the middle of it and had to go back and finish it.
Yeah.
And City on the Edge of Battle was also it was one giant cock tease. It's just, I mean, the animation is nice, but it was a giant cock tease. But it was like, I don't think there's ever been a more solid plan by humans to defeat Godzilla, like ever.
No, there's never been a more solid plan.
But it's also with alien intervention, so to speak. Since they had 2 new alien races to help them with new technologies they'd never seen before. Why are you working on fucking Saturday?
I don't know. It's a Saturday. Stop working.
Saturday, 11 o'clock. Who the fuck is at work? Damn IT guys. What were we gonna ask?
And actually, it was just brought up in the comments. Code Geass, are you a fan? Have you watched the original series?
No. I've never wanted to get into it, to be honest. It's got that like Gundam Seed style animation, and it turns me off. Though I've heard it's a great series, and I've seen some of the dub, which also may have been what turned me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also don't know which version to watch. It's almost like Evangelion. Like, okay, where do I start and which versions do I watch?
No. There's only 2 seasons of the original series. Then there's the OVA,
the movie, so to speak.
Well, you can. Yeah. Then just recently they made. I think it's a trilogy.
Yeah, I think they did what they've done with a lot of other like Gundam style animes.
Yeah,
where they compiled the series into a trilogy of movies.
And you could go either way on that. It doesn't matter. I watched the original series as it was airing, and it's really, really good. I'm trying to rewatch it so I can watch the new movie.
Yeah, I don't think that's season 3, Carl. I think it's a movie, Lelouch of the Resurrection.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Which I found out from Punish Props Academy because he made Zero's helmet.
Nice.
So they were sponsoring the video, so he 3D printed and constructed Zero's new helmet from that movie.
Very cool.
Hello from Argentina, Rafa CS 1.6. Well, technically, hello from Texas. You're in Argentina.
Hello to Argentina.
That
from Illinois.
Illinois, like that's some kind of special place.
It's not. Oh God, it's not. Don't come here ever. You don't have a reason to.
No, that's why I said you need to come to Texas.
I mean, we have Chicago.
Well, for now, it's mostly on fire. If the Transformers movies have told me anything, you don't want to live in Chicago.
Yeah, that's true.
Because at some point there will be robots fighting in it, and then there won't be much left.
It's okay. The flooding will put the fires out. It's okay.
Well, yeah, that happens here too. Dude, a freaking mansion burned down Thursday night. Got struck by lightning, and they had, as in the middle of the rain, they had many firefighters out there, could not put out the fire. It was a multi-million-dollar mansion burned down.
Holy cow!
It is, and they were actually. What's funny, the news crew was driving through the neighborhood and saw the light from the fire. And so the firefighters weren't even there yet. And so they stayed there and captured it live. So, dude, okay. So just to let you know how crazy the storms were the other night, there was 5,000 lightning strikes in 10 minutes.
Holy cow.
At one point of the storm. And that was only Thursday night. Tuesday was really bad. Last night was not bad for where we were, but it was really rough elsewhere. And then today had some pretty bad storms, but I was busy at Hobbytown, so I didn't see it. But this is like the most amount of lightning that we've seen. And that was just the Houston area. There were storms were all over Texas. So 5,000 lightning strikes in like 10 minutes.
That is insane. Rafa, sorry, we only speak English.
Che Guevara, Messi, or Maradona. That's funny. Spicy says they need to go to Texas for the steaks. Yeah, definitely come here for the barbecue and stay for the Mexican food.
Now, is Texas barbecue, is that mostly dry rub or is that a sauce?
Honestly, it depends. Because we've got influence kind of from everywhere, but for the most part, it's mostly a sauce. But it just depends, because sometimes it's straight smoke with a little bit of rub. Just depends on where you go. I believe in a good rub, but I also make a good barbecue sauce when I try. So, I mean, you got to have sauce one way or the other, but a lot of times it's mostly dry rub. But once again, it just depends, because we also have regional down here. So Austin does it a little bit different than San Antonio. If you go to Lockhart, which is technically the barbecue capital of Texas, they've got multiple places that have been there for like 70, 80 years, maybe longer, that are in like direct competition to each other. Places that the walls are black because the smoking pits are inside.
That is awesome.
So, I mean, like I've had a lot of, we were trying to go to a local barbecue place the other day, and for lunch, and I told the wife, I'm like, we're probably going to have to wait in line. Because when I went to this place years ago, when they were still just a trailer in a parking lot, we had to get there at like 8 a.m. For me to be number 12 in line.
Yeah.
We show up right at noon. There's nowhere to park. The line is outside the building, and like there was nowhere to park nearby because it's in Old Town Spring, which it's exploded a little bit since the last time I was over there. So even like street parking, mind you, we were trying to get in there at lunch, which was foolish. So I told her, I was like, if we try to do this again, we're gonna come out like super early, so at least we can eat by noon.
Yeah.
But it is amazing food wise. But it just depends. Because we have transplants, so there are guys, they'll be from, like say Kansas City or from other places, and they'll use more sauce based instead of dry rubs. It just depends on how you want it. If you want your barbecue more wet or more dry, if you cut off most of the fat cap, that kind of stuff. We got people who cut brisket the opposite direction because they're weirdos. When you see brisket cut one way for like your whole life, and then somebody cuts it the other way, you're like,
what are you doing?
Don't know. Am I supposed to eat this? Like,
why does it look like that? It shouldn't look like that.
Yeah, no, that is literally what it looks like. If you cut brisket the wrong way, it doesn't look like edible meat. It's like, But I like a good pork loin, pulled pork.
God, I can't eat pork anymore.
I'm sorry.
I haven't been able to eat pork in a few years. Cured pork, like bacon and ham, is fine. Most sausages are okay, but ribs, ribs and tenderloins, I can't do it anymore. It upsets my stomach.
It's weird. The wife is like that too. Anytime I make like a pork loin or something like that, she gets sick. Even though like I'll drain most of the fat and everything like that. Of course, I make sure it's cooked because you don't want you never want to do that. But it's only been like the last couple of years. When we first got together, it wasn't that bad because I used to make at least 1 or 2 pork butts a year. Which actually I need to go down to my place where I get my spices. It's been a while since I got my barbecue rub. Shout out to Penzies. Try their barbecue 3000 rub. It's amazing. Even the 3001, which adds vanilla bean and a couple other things, is really good. And I think they have a 3002 that I didn't get to try last time I went down there. I need to get that. But I actually, what I always wanted to do though? I wanted to do a Mediterranean style, like so. Season it like you would. Why is my brain completely? Help me out here. Like you would have on a gyro.
Tzatziki sauce?
Well, no, the actual the
actual seasoning.
Yeah, for the it'll come to me, but I want to get those spices and dress the pork butt that way. Now I did do it. I bought I did buy some curry, some more like Mediterranean style curry.
Yeah.
And I cooked. Unfortunately, I got the wrong cut of pork, so it didn't break down. It just turned more like a steak, but it was awesome. And I made a Greek style coleslaw. So it was mostly like tzatziki sauce, not mayo and stuff like that. And then I did it in pita bread.
Oh my God.
And that was so good. So if the pork had broken down right, it would have been great. And when that word eventually comes to me, it'll be awesome. Because I can't think of what is it? Because the thing that rotates, what is it actually called? Guys in the comments, please, if you know what I'm talking about. It's totally escaping me right now. Go Illinois, better climate than Texas. Texas is bloody.
It's like the spit. It's like the spit that you stab.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is it called?
It's so annoying. But see, I knew we should have gone to get Greek food the other day.
Yeah.
Because we had the thought, but we didn't want to drive all the way into Houston where we know the good one is because we weren't sure if we'd be able to get home.
Yeah.
Which turning out the storms were so late in the day, we would have been fine. Shawarma, thank you. Shawarma spices. So if I had proper shawarma spices, I would do that. It's funny though that I actually, when I worked a food truck years ago, I was talking to my boss. I'm like, we need to do a shawarma because he would make his own sausage. I'm like, dude, you need to do a beef and lamb shawarma sausage and throw it on a pita. Because I've never seen anybody do it in sausage form. Because it would work out great. Just chop it or just slice it, whatever, and then throw it out there with some tzatziki sauce and some cucumbers.
Huh.
I would do it. I've never seen anybody do a shawarma sausage. It's the same concept, more or less. Because if you do it properly, you're supposed to layer it. You're supposed to do alternate layers of beef and lamb.
Yeah.
And then you cut it into cone form.
I guess, is Nero's Gyros just a local thing here? Like a regional thing?
Nero's probably, yeah.
Nero's Gyros, they have...
also, gyro.
No, we pronounce it gyros.
There's no G.
They spell it with a G.
It's also spelled gyro, but we're not going there.
Anyway, their meat for their
shawarma.
No, for their gyros.
Yeah, well, it's the shawarma style is what it's called.
It's a ground mixture, and they carve it off. So it's basically a giant sausage that they just carve up.
Well, the way it's traditionally done, while it looks like it's ground, it's not. It's just pounded flat. So they'll take their whatever chunk of beef it is, whether it's shoulder or butt or whatever, no, same difference. And then they'll do alternating lamb, or if it's all beef, they just stack it all beef, and it's of course marinated in the juices. And then of course the reason they cut it in a cone is because as it spins and turns, the juices come out and solidify on the outside. So the outside is always fresh and cooked. And then as you cut it open, then they have to cook the next layer, stuff like that. But you don't have to really wait. But that's why it's on the circular spit with the fire on the backside, which is why it's a shawarma. Shawarma is the way it's cooked, not necessarily the meat. But it's usually, it looks like it's ground because their layers are so flat that they do that. Euros is Greek and can be with pork, kebab. Shawarma is more Arabic. Yeah, you're right. But see, it's shawarma, but then it's also not. Yeah, you're correct in that. Maybe it's not called shawarma then, and we're just equating that because it's more or less the same thing. Yeah, you can do it with pork as well. Most people down here don't. They do it beef. But you could. That's what I was saying. The original idea of doing it as a sausage would have worked. Okay, so now it's going to bother me until I know. But I think shawarma was what I wanted, anyways. But either way, I need to do some pork again. But now I've been wanting some good barbecue. We have an okay barbecue place around the corner. Like literally, we can just walk there if we want to. And they're just okay. They're like just normal everyday hometown barbecue. But so there's some phenomenal barbecue nearby. But it's the ones where you're waiting in line for hours.
Oh yeah. There's a place in Champaign, Illinois, where the university is.
Yeah.
Called Black Dog. It was rated one of the top 5 in the country for barbecue. And I have got to get back there soon. It was so good.
So what do you normally go and get when you're there if you're not going to get any kind of pork object?
Oh, either the burnt ends, the brisket. They got chicken and turkey.
Dude, I judge a place by their pulled pork and their turkey.
Oh, their turkey it's so good. Just so fucking good. They do more of a dry rub and then they put like a glaze over it.
Yeah.
And then they have like 4 or 5 different sauces on the side that you can choose from.
That's always good.
Yeah.
I do like it when they give you a selection of sauces. But what's really good is when they label which ones are the hot ones. When they don't, and you grab what is seemingly the normal one and you soak your sandwich or whatever in it. Because I make a sandwich out of anything. It's like, I'm sorry. Barbecue is meant to be meat piled on either a plate or wax paper, and you have a pile of bread next to it.
Yeah.
And then you have your styrofoam cups of beans and whatever.
Exactly.
My family, or at least my dad's side, grew up in a small town called Elgin. Here, it's just outside of Austin. And there's a place there called Southside Barbecue. And it's like a legacy in our family. Like, if I go to Austin, I'm making sure I stop by Elgin on the way home to pick up a couple pounds of sausage. You can buy it raw because they still have the regular old smokehouse, so raw. You can buy it already ready to go, prepackaged, like they would send it out in the store. You can, of course, just go in there and get it, like a normal barbecue place. You can get whatever you want there. But they have their original 1882 recipe.
Ooh.
So they've been around for a while. But it took them way too long to franchise. Like they have at least 2 now. One a little bit south of there, closer to Bastrop, but that's the franchise version. So they finally opened another one, but it's a brand new.
Yeah,
and they made it look like the original one. That's incredibly old. But it was there when my dad was young, and my dad's incredibly old now. So they grew up out there. So it is like a thing. Like I have made day trips out there just to go eat there and grab stuff and bring it back. Their barbecue sauce or their hot sauce is really good. The sausage is really good. I don't really get the brisket. Like I'm very picky about my brisket. But their turkey is really good. Their beans. I always judge a barbecue place by their beans.
Yes. And people that I talk to don't get that about a barbecue joint. It's like the beans are part of it.
Yeah. You gotta have some good pinto beans in there or kidney beans, and it's got to be done with leftover meat from the day before, chopped up and thrown in there.
Yep.
And then either the sauce already in it or you just throw in a squidge.
Yep.
And also potato salad is a very underrated thing. Like the wife prefers prefers coleslaw over potato salad, but she mostly goes for that. But I'll judge, like, I like a mustard based potato salad personally, and not a lot of places do that, surprisingly.
Yeah, mustard based potato salad is actually really big around here. But Black Dog has it's mayonnaise based for sure. But like they smoke everything.
Yes, I've had some with smoked potatoes.
Everything. Yeah.
Smoked potato salad, which is so strange, but it's a thing. What about you, Ernest? You a barbecue fan?
I am, and I'm a slaw fan. I definitely do the same thing as you, and I make sandwiches out of it. But I have to put my slaw on my pulled pork.
Yeah, slaw
South
is
Carolina style.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, when I worked the food truck,
Vinegar based too.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I was going to go there because when I worked the food truck, we had slaw, and I'm not a cabbage fan despite my family's heritage, being all like basically Eastern European. It's like I don't like cabbage, surprisingly, but we made a coleslaw on there that I loved, especially on the pulled pork, and it was a mustard vinegar base, no mayo, because I didn't want to have to worry about it spoiling, and I loved it, and we used coarse ground mustard as well, so it was really like potent. But I love that. But going back to my Greek style coleslaw, that was so good. I couldn't stop eating it. Like, but yeah, no, it's like if you like barbecue is meant to be turned into a sandwich. I'm sorry,
I agree for sure.
Even if you get like a half chicken or something, you're pulling that apart and throwing it on that. Which I'm not a big fan of chicken on the bone. I'm not generally a fan of meat on the bone, which is why I tend to miss out on really good ribs. But like if they have the rib meat like off the bone, I'll definitely try that. We've gone off on a really odd tangent here, but it's fine. Fuck it. But the funny thing is we're in completely different ends of the country, but we can appreciate the same thing. But yeah, like I don't know how it is up there for you guys. But like barbecue, obviously barbecue's massive in Texas because this is beef country, especially if you're in a place that has an actual cattle market like Lockhart does or San Antonio does. Or if you want to go to Big Texas and actually get the 72-ounce steak and try to eat that thing in an hour along with all the other shit.
I want to do that someday.
The old 96er?
Yeah. Well, it's 72 ounces for sure. Then you have to eat a side salad, a dessert, and then something else all within an hour. Or it's $100 some odd.
I would love to do that and fail spectacularly.
I'm trying to remember, I think Adam Richmond failed it. He was close, but I think he failed it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really crazy meat challenges like that. But if you want to talk really weird, unique barbecue, there's a place in I always forget if it's Austin or San Antonio. I believe it's Austin. It's called the Green Mesquite, and they smoke all their meat with green mesquite wood.
Ooh.
Instead of dried.
Yeah.
And it adds a weird resiny flavor to everything. It was definitely strange, but not bad. And like they make their sauce also with some of the like runoff, so to speak. So you get that flavor even in the sauce. It was good. I've only been there the once, but it was a memorable impact because all of the meat has a resin to it.
I want to take a barbecue road trip across the country someday.
Okay, Rasper says it's in Austin. Yeah, I thought it was. The problem was I was doing a whole lot of trips to Austin and San Antonio in that year, so it was hard to remember which one it was. And I was drinking heavily in that year.
Sarley wants to build the Anubis after Lelouch's Nightmare. Sorry, going back to that topic.
Yeah, I saw that.
After Lelouch's Nightmare, if you want to build your Anubis, I can build my Jehudi.
Well, I've got the Anubis, so that's where he was saying he wants to do an Anubis build off.
I know. Well, when you guys do that, I'll build my Jehudi.
Yeah. Well, you just have the regular Jehudi, right? You don't have the special edition or whatever.
It might be a special edition. I'd have to double check.
Yeah, because they had a couple editions of it apparently.
Yeah.
According to the Anubis box, or as I call it, Ancient Egyptian Strike Freedom. That's what it looks like. Okay, so Rasper's been there. What did you think of it? What did you think of the Green Mesquite? Definitely more. It looks more like a mom and pop kind of place. It's not like a high end deal. I want to do the Salt Lick. I have not been to the Salt Lick yet.
I don't think a good barbecue joint should be like a big chain thing.
No, you're right. But it can be fancy-ish.
It can be fancy, ish, but you're gonna get sauce all over everything if you're doing it right. So
yeah, that's why I like places that just give you wax paper and like a plate, maybe.
Yeah.
Or a tray, like a cafeteria tray with just wax paper on it. That's
we got a place here in town that does that, and they got like disposable tablecloths that they change out every few hours.
Where it's literally the roll of packing paper, like, and it's literally at the end they just rip it off, they just pull it and roll it. You've been to one of those places? Yeah. Okay, so he said it was back in 2017 when it was a bloody heat wave in November. I remember that heat wave. It was like 80 degrees in November. It's ridiculous. I don't know. I remember good barbecue whenever I go. I remember good food regardless of wherever I go. I also remember really bad food.
Oh my gosh.
We went. Fortunately, we did not eat at this place because walking in was enough of a turnoff. We left. It was a the name the chain is going to elude me, but that's okay. But it was a Mediterranean style buffet. Or Mediterranean buffet, I should just say that. And I've been to the one locally here, and it was always good. This was in Austin. We walked in, and there was almost nobody in there. The manager, I guess, is sitting right by the front door. He's like, just go sit anywhere. And so we had been busy all day. We'd had a Gunpla meet, and then we went to the Austin Aquarium. And we walk in there, and I just walk by the first row of buffet stuff, and I'm starting looking at the food. I'm like, no, like I'm just looking at stuff that I should recognize. And I'm like, I don't know about this.
Been sitting under the heat lamp too long?
Well, I mean, like, because it's either steam trays or heat lamps, and then there's like almost nobody in there. I look at the pile of plates. The plates aren't really very clean. The place kind of has a little bit of a funky smell. I go into the bathroom just to take a pee, and I nearly vomit from how bad the bathroom was. And she had gone into the bathroom too. And so I came out, and I told her, we're leaving. As like, I'm not going to, it's like the easiest way to know if a restaurant is going to be good or not is the level of their bathroom. If their bathroom isn't even clean, that means their kitchen staff is not clean, means their food is going to be disgusting. And we just walked out. Like, luckily we hadn't sat down, we hadn't done anything, we hadn't grabbed a plate, we hadn't done anything yet. We just walked in, walked through, and then left. And like, as we're leaving, we're like, this place is disgusting. Like, walking next to the owner or manager, whoever the hell he was, he clearly didn't give a shit. And we walked like down the corner to a Mongolian style place where you make your own bowl of food or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, that was decent. So, but I was like, yeah, we haven't been to that particular chain in a long time, even though I do trust the one locally. Actually, is that even around anymore? It might be. I just haven't been to that part of town in a while. But yeah, now I want barbecue again. Fuck.
I do too. This is bad. I got cravings now.
In theory, we're going to NASA tomorrow, so we might swing by somewhere that has because the weather's supposed to be fine tomorrow.
Hopefully.
On Monday. No, they said that like all the crappy storms, everything was supposed to be done today.
Well, that's all right,
tomorrow for Mother's Day is supposed to be a nice day. So
I'll be right back.
Is he back yet?
Who?
He said he'd be right back. I was like, okay, fine, go. Just mute yourself this time. There you go. But either way, so maybe we'll go find something down that way. We considered running down to Galveston again, since that was our original plan. But it's like run all the way down there for a beach day and then haul ass back home and then try to hurt. I have to go to work in the morning. I don't know. But either way, we might call it here pretty soon because it's getting late.
Yeah.
Are you actually getting any work done?
Not really, kind of.
Kind of.
Talking about food, and it's like really making me hungry.
Now you're hungry.
And so I was.
Are there any barbecue places that will do Uber Eats this late?
Oh man, there's just thinking about all the pulled pork and coleslaw right now. I could go for a pulled pork coleslaw sandwich.
It would be nice, wouldn't it? Sorry I did that to you, buddy.
It's okay. I'm like looking at the time. I'm like, it's 11:30. It's way too late to be eating, but I am starving now. Just listening to you guys talk about it.
See, I didn't really eat dinner, but we had a decent size lunch, so I'm okay for now. But yeah, I do need to call it. I got to get to bed soon. It's just been a long damn day.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I took today and yesterday off, so I actually got to sleep in instead of getting up at 4:15. So normally I would be passed out by now. And what really sucks is because I have to be up so early on Saturdays. I got to go to bed like early on Friday night, so I never get to have any fun.
Yeah.
Which is why I think we've stopped doing Plastic Cannibals on Friday nights, because that's where we were doing it. So we moved it to Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's been so hard for everybody to get together, and now the Game of Thrones is on. When we normally would be filming or live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, come on. One of these days we'll eventually get together. It'll have to be like an 8-hour session to catch up on everything.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think the next time we definitely need a list of topics running like a sidebar, because
it will be very organized.
I say it's hard to keep on topic for sure. I mean, it's easy to just jump off topic.
Yeah, it is. That's why. Well, that's one reason why. Like, if I'm doing a normal nerdcast, I'll definitely have my list of topics and stuff like that. But I just wanted to sit down and bullshit tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
But for a more mainstream style thing like that, yeah, there'll be a list of topics, just like I did that one time where I had all the topics off to the side and a good list of what we were gonna do. But now there's like so many big topics. Like we were planning on it. Last week before, but I hadn't seen Endgame yet. And so I was like, we got to talk Endgame. I haven't seen Endgame yet.
Well, that's the thing. I think anybody now, I mean, the spoiler ban or whatever they call it.
Yeah, spoiler ban is out, so
lifted,
that's not a big deal.
It's kind of like, if you don't know about it by now, it's too late. I mean, there's a lot of people
at this point, it's not a legal problem. It's a politeness.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're going to talk about it, so bye. Yeah. But what's really messed up is that the new TV spots are actually spoiling the movie.
I know. Well, they had to because of Far From Home.
Far From Home.
They have to start promoting it, and there's no way they can promote it without giving spoilers away.
Yeah, because I saw, if anybody hasn't seen Endgame, stop listening. They showed in a TV spot last night what Captain America does near the end of the big battle, and it's like, oh, we're just showing that now on TV. No problem. Like, it's like, okay, it's like been 2 weeks since open, I guess they can do that. But no, apparently where there was not in a post credits, now they're showing the Far From Home trailer at the end of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So now if you go see Endgame in theaters, they, at the very end of the credits, they roll the Far From Home trailer.
Well, probably because they don't want to show it at the beginning of any movies.
Well, that makes sense. But isn't it funny that they made Tom Holland do that whole spoiler warning thing and then show the trailer because he's the one who spoiled the movie before?
Yeah.
And not even rumors, confirmed that they kept certain things out of his part of the script so he wouldn't spoil anything while filming.
Yeah, I think what I heard is that they only gave him his lines with no context.
Actually, Zendaya said the same thing when they were on Jimmy Kimmel. They said for the most part, everybody got their script, but everything else was largely redacted, so you didn't know what you were doing. You're just saying your lines.
That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, no context and nothing like that. So you just and if it's a scene where you're mostly alone or you're doing reverse shot with somebody on a green screen, you don't know. You're not necessarily, you're having one half of a conversation. But I guess if you're with another actor, only they know their lines, but they don't know your lines. That's the thing. But apparently there's a lot of things where they kind of like what they do with Game of Thrones. They'll shoot multiple parts of a scene so they don't know which one is actually in the movie, so they
Yeah.
can't technically spoil it. Like I want to know how many different endings they shot for this season of Game of Thrones. They didn't talk about it. Two seasons ago, they shot like 6 different conclusions so that nobody knew what the actual end was of that season. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, have you heard what Game of Thrones does for their scripts?
No.
And I think some of the movies do it too. So they have like a secure iPad. Everybody has that. They will send you your script for the day via this very specific secured app. It'll only be there for so long for you to learn your lines, and then it's gone. Nothing is on paper. Nothing is savable. Though technically speaking, if you wanted to like take a quick screenshot it, you could do that. But then they would eat you. You know, because I think a lot of people are not allowed to have their phones while filming. So the guy who plays
but Starbucks cups are okay though.
The Starbucks cups, that was so funny. That was such a meme thing. They left that in. They had to have left that in.
I didn't even notice it until someone.
Nobody noticed it until the next morning, until they started posting it. It is so funny because there's no way a show that big makes it all the way to airing with a mistake like that, and nobody noticed. It's gone over 50,000 times for VFX.
Yeah.
How do you not notice a fucking cup that clearly doesn't match what's in the scene?
Unless they were quite literally making, again, last minute changes in the editing room and use this cut, and then it was one of the cuts that wasn't like
maybe
completely edited.
And you know what's funny? When I was watching the behind the scenes stuff, I was looking for it to see if it was behind the scenes, and they caught it and didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. But I guess they didn't film that particular moment. But yeah, you're right. It might have been the one take that was really good. Mm-hmm. But there's that one cut, that one little snippet that it was in, which is like less than 3 seconds. Nobody in screen is even talking. It's the people off screen that are talking, and she's just sitting there. So it's like it doesn't even matter necessarily what's happening in her take because they got the voiceover, so it doesn't even matter. So that's why I think, like, did they leave that in there just for an Easter egg, and then once it popped up, they fixed it just because?
I can't imagine. That's somebody's job.
Yeah. Oh no, they're gonna get fired on Monday. This was fucking filmed almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and if I remember, okay, so this was the victory dinner, so to speak. So this was the first day of filming. If you watch the behind the scenes, the first thing they filmed this season was that feast. So that was done day one, and it took until now to catch that mistake. No, that was not a mistake that they did. They didn't do on purpose.
You know, maybe it's not actually a coffee cup. Maybe
you can see the fucking Starbucks logo.
Maybe it's like a special goblet because one of the people there has a spilling problem, and it has a lid.
So you're saying they need a sippy cup?
I'm saying Tormund is a drunk.
Tormund is a drunk, and he wasted a lot of wine in that.
He sure did.
He's like, I'm gonna chug it. You mean chug it by spilling it all over yourself?
See, he needs a sippy cup.
He barely spilled any Giant's milk. Which I guess it raises the question, where is he still getting Giant's milk? It's not like he has a keg of it that he drags around. So disturbing. But either way, I think we'll go ahead and call it on that moment if you guys want to remember the Giant's milk chugging scene.
To climbing mountains.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, he didn't get to.
He seemed to get over it pretty quickly.
He might now.
Well, yeah. We'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss that Redbeard bastard.
Do you think he's going to get his own spinoff?
No. I think all the spinoffs are all prequels. That's what it seems like. All 3 spinoffs are all prequels. Whether it's way ancient or if it's like the Dunk and Egg section or anything like that from the different side books.
before we go,
Okay.
I will ask you.
Oh no. You
From
scared me.
from last season,
Okay.
before this season started,
Gotcha.
who did you want to end up on the throne versus who do you want to end up on the throne now? If it's changed.
It hasn't really changed. But it's not so much who I want to end up on the throne versus who I don't want to end up on the throne.
Okay,
Like,
so no one wants Cersei,
so
except for one of my friends.
We know, well, if we're talking theories, I'm worried that ultimately we're not going to get what we want. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Because Emilia Clarke has said that what happens in this episode is even bigger than what happened in episode 3.
Okay.
So they're talking about this battle being even somehow bigger than the battle from episode 3. And it's like, how do you top that?
Well, okay, but
other than what I sort of talked about earlier,
the battle in episode 3 was like very confining. Like it was shot. Everything was in very close quarters.
But it was also thousands more people than they have currently. But either way,
true.
Back to your question. I don't know that anybody who is currently vying for the throne deserves it.
Okay.
Versus somebody completely unexpected that's actually good to be on the throne.
Okay, so you went Tyrion.
No, I don't think he's going to make it one way or the other.
I don't want him.
I have ideas as to what's going to happen with Tyrion. And
I don't want him to die, but I just have a foreboding feeling.
I think that somebody that we completely don't expect is going to end up on the throne. Not that it even matters. Sansa is not. Everybody keeps saying that, and
I don't want Sansa.
She's not a ruler. She's a leader, but she's not a ruler. Because if she really was the leader, then people wouldn't have bothered siding with Jon over her.
Yeah.
At that moment. But then again, he deserves everything he does get because he does earn it. Sansa's been through a lot, but she hasn't earned anything yet. Gendry also, well, Gendry's technically has somewhere to go now.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. I think that if anything, it may not be someone of this generation who ends up being on the throne.
Oh, I get you.
I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that anybody from this, I think the throne will be vacant for a while, hopefully.
I think, and what I really want is for, as Tyrion put it, for the wheel to be broken.
Yes.
And I wanted democracy.
I said the same thing, but there's not enough people who are willing to bring forth that democracy yet.
Right.
Because most of those people who are still fighting over it are all still under the old system.
Yeah.
And the entire old system must be wiped out. Every old leader of Westeros is gone with the exception of Cersei and her brood.
Yeah.
And technically Daenerys and them. So even Daenerys would not be a part of it one way or the other.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to end up with a Hunger Games style ending for our heroes.
Oh. Interesting.
Interesting. Where they get to, maybe somebody gets to live. That's the scary part. It's like at this point, I don't think anybody. Well, now that the one thing that was seemingly a problem for everyone is no longer a problem for everyone, which I was really hoping for, to be honest. It's like at one point you're rooting for the bad guys because it actually does make sense for them to win. But I'm not going to knock what did happen. Once again, trying to avoid spoilers as best as possible here because there's some people who have never even seen the damn series. Right. And I want them to watch it. But I don't know. I don't know that anybody deserves it, nor does that system need to exist anymore. The system of kings, because at this point, the Seven Kingdoms still exist, but there aren't seven kings around anymore.
Well, that's what I'm curious about. If
they would have to install new people.
Well, that's where, again, like what you guys were talking about, maybe whoever takes the throne won't necessarily want it, and then just completely get rid of it altogether. And
But once again, that comes down to abolishing the old system. But maybe there's enough people who are gone countrywide that they'd be okay with, yeah, fine, whatever. So basically, the Starks are the only ones still on their throne.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they only mentioned two other kingdom leaders, technically at this point, who are on their respective thrones now, but that's not all 7 kingdoms anymore. That's only 3 at this point, because the other ones are all left abandoned at this point because everybody died one way or another.
Well, let me ask you. So typically on like a big series finale, like the second to last episode is like the big one, and then the last episode is sort of like tying up loose ends.
The mop up, yeah.
Do you think that's how it's going to be, or do you think they're also going to wait till the very last episode and then the last half hour will be sort of that?
I think that since the last episode is shorter, I think this episode is actually shorter than last week's. So it's not quite an hour and a half, if I remember correctly by the schedule. And then the last episode is back down to about an hour. So it seems like it's going to be a pretty clean wrap up, but we also don't know, maybe with whatever happens here, maybe we get a time skip, which I think is going to be necessary for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we need, like I said, I don't think it'll be this generation that fixes anything. I think it's going to be this generation that breaks the wheel, so to speak, and it'll be the next generation that will get to affect the change. And maybe that's what we get. Or they do as they've always said, and happy endings don't exist in this universe. So it could be that
I would be down for a devastatingly depressing ending.
But this is TV, not books. They could pull that off in the books. With TV, they've got to have somebody win. Like, we can have a whole lot of devastating losses, but for the good guys to ultimately completely lose has very rarely, if at all, ever been done on TV.
Or if just no one wins.
If no one wins, but nothing's resolved, that also doesn't do anything. So we need resolution to the problems overall, regardless of who wins. So
they all lose. They all lose. That's resolution if they all lose.
The only way they all lose was the other problem they had.
Yeah.
But that problem isn't a problem anymore. So they can't all lose now. Not in the same way. That would have been the way to establish something new. But I think that ultimately Westeros won't matter anymore.
Oh.
In theory.
Okay.
I think that hopefully they deal with the problems at King's Landing the way they want to deal with them. And then they just move on and start something new. Because
I guess
they have a perfectly good other castle they could rule from. They don't necessarily need the old capital. Now, if they want, as they discussed in the last episode, they need the capital to run Westeros. But if the capital doesn't exist anymore, that's not really a problem. You just didn't necessarily want to wipe out everybody. But one thing is starting to shape up almost like Beast Machines.
Oh, I don't want an ending like that.
But what if it is? But I mean, where ultimately the outcome is good, but not necessarily for either side, like you said. But do you see the correlation though?
Yes, I do.
There's a lot of correlation there.
Huh.
Good guys not necessarily winning, bad guys ahead. Ultimate resolution is not the kind of win they were expecting.
Yeah.
For either side. So I think ultimately we're going to get an ending that nobody was expecting.
Yeah, probably.
Which is what the show is doing. They're already killing almost any and all expectations with this season. And there's a lot of people, I've seen a lot of things on YouTube, why season 8 sucks. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? It's like, season 8 sucks because you don't have an open mind. You had a set thing. And they're like, You could say that season 8 sucks because it's completely off book.
Well, there's no book, so
there's no book for this.
Speaking of, do you think he's ever gonna get a chance to finish it before he dies?
Nope, he won't do it. I think he wanted Dan and Dave to finish it, TV wise, and then he'll adapt from the TV show. If he won't.
He'll be able to. He's got it made. So if people like the or if it comes with a great reception, sure, it makes it easier for him. If people hate it, it makes it easier for him because he knows what not to do.
But he already told them how it should end. He gave them the major marking points that they needed to hit, and then left the rest up to them. So it's going to be a similar ending to what he had planned, quote unquote. But you're right. He can only win from here. Mm-hmm. Either it's a great reception TV wise, and he just wraps up the books similar to the way the TV show does, without having to write his way through it. And he can literally say, give me them scripts or screenplays. And then he just knocks it out that way. Or he just never finishes the books, because he has had a very long time to finish the last 2 books.
Yeah. Since before they announced the whole
season 5.
Yeah.
If that. He's halfway through book 4? 6? Which book? I forgot how many books there are. 5 books?
Let me see.
I think there's 5.
It's Winds of Winter is the one that is incomplete, and he hasn't even started Dream of Spring. So in theory, as we're rolling through the book titles, we've hit every major plot point of the book title and the idea of it. So we've done Winds of Winter. So Dream of Spring is the wrap up. Mm-hmm. So if there's any consolation to that in these last 2 episodes, that's what we're going to get.
I think, going by that route, and how, it was like each book was a season for a bit until they ran out of books. I think a lot of people's problems with this season is the pacing is very quick.
It had to be.
I understand that. I really do.
I mean, last season was quick when it needed to be. Yeah. But the thing is that they told us 2 years ago that this season was going to be like 70% battles.
Yeah.
And which is what it needed to be. We had a whole lot of plotting and moving people around the world last season.
Yeah.
Bringing people together finally. Yeah, and then the rise of the other side. So we needed to start seeing some losing. We needed to start seeing that. We needed the build up for this season. And then this season was going to be all the major battles that had to happen, which is also why it's the most expensive season of television ever.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait to see the final numbers and see actually how much it cost. Because episode 3 alone was stupid expensive. It had to be.
Oh God, yeah.
Which is why episode 2 didn't have any CG in it, aside from green screening, and why last episode had minimal, but it was there.
Yeah.
Though apparently, if you watch how they did that King's Landing wall scene, was pretty impressive, because they had to shoot that near where people actually are in the real world. So they actually shot that without a certain character in the scene at all, shot her stuff completely separately, and had to intercut it so to not spoil anything.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. If you follow HBO or Game of Thrones on YouTube, on Mondays they post all the extra stuff. So you catch the stuff after the episode. Yeah. Then they have a far more expanded version. The one for episode 3 was like 45 minutes long. Like it was a very long behind the scenes, talking through all the characters, talking through all the moments. That's how I found out the way they shoot those the scenes where post battle and you have just the battlefield littered with dead bodies. How they did that practically and saved money was impressive. Basically, they built models. So where the old convention, of course, is to have just hundreds of dummies in costume, they bought hundreds of dummies that they had from previous seasons, dressed them, cast them in piles. So they made modular piles of dead bodies.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So they cast the bodies they had in the armor of whoever, or the getup of whoever, dressed them and decorated them and painted them, and then they had them in modular piles that were pretty easy for only a couple people to move. And when they needed large stacks, they literally just stacked piles of fake dead bodies without having to have hundreds upon hundreds of dummies. So ultimately, it saved them time and money to do that. And then, if it's funny, talking about, I think it's Miguel. He's the director, the main on set director, and he was walking around the set for episode 3 in between takes, and a body would suddenly get up from a pile and scare the shit out of him. And of course, it's somebody who's dressed as a dead person, but you forget because there's dozens of extras laying there to do their thing later, or somebody who has to die on the pile, whatever. And you forget they're there because you've called cut, but they haven't done anything, and you're walking through, and then they suddenly get up and you just shit yourself. It was the same thing with people who weren't in the particular scene indoors, who didn't know that there were going to be actors roaming around in makeup and everything like that, and they were on set and ran into one of those characters in a dark corridor and scared the shit out of themselves because they didn't even know. Because this one particular dude, he had a lot of screen time in that particular scene. He said the dude moves so convincingly, and the way he was made up, is like when you know you're on a TV show like this, it shouldn't freak you out. But you wander up on somebody completely made up and it scares the hell out of you. It's like, you've been doing this for how long? Like, it still gets to you. It's like they basically built themselves a haunted house and scared the shit out of themselves. But I suggest going to watch that episode 3 recap on their YouTube page, because they even go over how they shot a particular courtyard scene with John, and how they dealt with making that look as real as possible.
Okay.
Despite it being mostly a CG thing. So for something that was out 2 weeks ago, I'm still trying not to spoil it for anybody. But guys, I said we were gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and go. It's pretty much midnight here. So thanks for anybody who actually stuck around and watched. Sorry we weren't watching the comments for the last 40 minutes. I apologize. Thanks, Joey and Ernest, for coming and hanging out with me on a Saturday night. It's always fun just getting to bullshit with people, and we haven't really got to sit down and talk anything in a while, whether it's you guys or the chat themselves or my subscribers. But of course, balls for balls. We're gonna start judging because Joey needs to get on that, and I need to start running through the resubmissions apparently for some of these guys and the other ones. So if for some reason you haven't heard about the contest and you're a Gunpla builder, by all means go check out my Balls for Balls playlist, where you can learn anything you ever needed to know. There's 10 days to get a kit done. I did talk to a local guy who's actually entering the beginner category. So Rob, you finally have some competition coming, because right now Rob is running unopposed in the beginner category. But we'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you are in an area that was affected by the floods, prayers be with you guys, because I know that Texas was not the only one with flooding conditions and everything else like that. So, but guys, remember, as always, keep on nerding, keep on building, and let's just keep hanging out and doing fun shit together. Bye, guys.
Bye.